Just like Thursday, the boat in trouble. This time, Nomura was able to wriggle off the hook with 1:30 to go, and now they hold a favored position.
We're not going to have it. They go to each other.
Game here is to get up to full speed. KR makes his move first, and he'll be going faster when the gun.
17, 14, 13. 4, 3, 2, 1, done.
Another clean start and another good job by Dylan Bob.
Hi, everybody. It's 41 degrees here in beautiful Casco Bay. You're looking up the Portland Ship Channel at Portland, Maine. On the stream left of the screen, I think you can see Spring Point Light. Just sort of blinking away there. The entrance to Portland Harbor, my home port, my hometown. Sort of my adopted hometown. My hometown is actually Boston, Mass, but hey, moved to Maine a good long time ago. And welcome. Had a really great talk with Mark Reed on his channel. Thank you, Mark, for inviting me. And we got so engrossed in conversation, we never got around to answering some questions. And I'm not going to answer a whole raft of them. I have a couple, though, that I thought I'd try to get at. Especially one from Big Bad Mama. I really appreciated this one, which I kind of think maybe folks haven't followed me a lot, because let me just put that that question up on screen and see if I can. So Big Bad Mama asked at Mark Reed. That's how we wanted people to ask questions. Hi, Stephanie. Do you understand from a science perspective debunking pseudoscience and encouraging critical thinking is important, and a debate with an audience provides such a forum? I do indeed. I really do. I do indeed. That's why since 2021, I've been on, long before I actually started adding content to this channel. And I've got one particular video I want to show, or at least review a part of, in answering this question. I've been a participant and a co-host on the Transatlantic Call-In show, first with Katie Montgomery, then with Arden, then with Katie, then with Ben, then with Arden. So, yeah, answering questions, debunking bad science is a part of, I think, what we all do. Or at least what I've tried to do. I think if you go and watch Mark's stream, you'll hear more of what I've done throughout my life. Hey, Big Bad Mama, great to see you. I was hoping you'd show up and chat, and I'm glad you're here. So I just want to answer not just with, well, I've done this, I've done that, I've done the other thing. I want to show you, because there's content here that maybe some folks haven't seen, and content I'm proud of, did a lot of work on, did some research on. One of the things that because of my situation, because of who I am, my focus has been on trans issues, because other people's focus has been on folks like me. And the bad science around LGBTQIA plus people. Hey, Incher, good to see you too. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat. Sometimes I'm not. I really wasn't paying attention to the chat when Mark and I were talking. Otherwise, I sort of caught one or two questions here and there. But a lot of them, once the conversation got rolling, it was like, hey, I'm really focused on talking to Mark and answering his very probing and good questions. Again, I really enjoyed it. But let's just jump into it. Big Bundy, you asked me, do you understand that from a science perspective, debunking pseudoscience and encouraging critical thinking is important, and a debate with an audience provides such a forum? Well, yes, I do, again, and audiences differ. Audiences change. A call-in show is an audience both for the call that you're talking to, the person who's calling in, and the people that are watching the show. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that format. I like the looseness of it in a lot of ways, and I also like I'll praise the call screeners over on the line. They do a terrific job of picking out the topics for the host to discuss. So the first thing I want to show is an excerpt, one call from August 2022, I think it was, with Dr. Ben and myself, taking a call from somebody who had questions about the appropriateness of trans care for children. So let me just see if I can find that that particular thing. Yeah, there we go. And get rid of this thing here, and we'll got, yeah, there's my smiling mug. This was in August. I'm usually rather tan in August on account of the fact that I'm out sailing the entire time. You lose that over the winter time. It's one of those things. But anyway, let me just roll this clip and let me know right away if you can't hear. Let me just actually, let me just double check here. I'm gonna remove. I'm gonna let's see. If you can't hear this, let me know right away, okay?
Oh, shucks. Stephanie, instead of shelling your own team, you decide to shell my team. Okay, that's fine.
It's called.
Can you hear the video, chat? Can you guys hear this? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, great. Thank you, Colossi. I appreciate that. That's good, because I don't want to be. I have made. These are the things one learns as over time. It's like I'll play something for 5 minutes and nobody can hear it, and I won't know it because whatever. Anyway, let's roll it.
Generosity of spirit, perhaps. I don't know. I'm on your team, Ben. You're on my team. Hey.
All right, we are on each other's teams for the spicy call. 7, he, him in the U.S. You are live on Transatlantic. What is your topic that you'd like to talk about?
Hi. So my topic I'd like to talk about is why trans activists always say, I've seen them say it many times, that children don't get surgery, blah, blah. But it is actually a fact that they do. Like,
Okay. What
people
surgery?
as young as 13. Top surgery, bottom surgery, 13 to 16-year-olds. It's been admitted in the journal. What is this? Journal of the American Medical Association. 33 minor trans boys have gotten, top surgery, and I was binge watching I Am Jazz because I find the whole transgender topic very fascinating, and she got it when she was a minor, and her friends also did. One of her friends, I believe, got her bottom surgery when she was 16. So, I mean, it's admitted by, JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, and it's also admitted by a show which is pretty much trans propaganda, in my opinion. So, what more? It's a fact. Children do get surgery.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So, with regard to bottom surgery at that age, I'd like to see the case study, and I'd like to see kind of more context surrounding this case, because we don't do purely gender affirming genital surgeries on minors. You need to be over 18, at least in the US generally. Surgeries done younger usually have some other biological components, some other medical components to it, such as if people have differences in their anatomy at younger ages, we actually see those genital surgeries happening against children's will. So
Yeah, I
it's
don't
something
agree
like
with
that.
that. I don't
You
agree
don't
with
agree
that.
with it? Okay.
Of course not.
Okay, good. So we're
I'm
on
not
we're
like
on the
a
same.
right-wing person.
Okay, so do you
You
know
hear
the
me?
context of the? Yeah, I can hear you. Do you understand? Can
Okay.
you share a little bit of the context of the patient who had the bottom surgery at that younger age?
I mean, I just saw it on a show. I know her name.
You just
And huh? What?
so you saw this on a TV show.
Yes. Jazz
So you
most
initially
definitely got it.
cited. Well, so you initially cited JAMA for the top surgery, and then you lumped in your case of the bottom surgery in with that as if it's a similar legitimate source. Is this TV show a credible citation to use for this particular medical case for the bottom surgery?
No, but I mean, the Journal of the American Medical Association is
But
evidence
those aren't
enough.
the same case. So separate these out. So you have this proposed study from JAMA, and we can address JAMA later. But top surgery and bottom surgery are very different medically. So let's talk about bottom surgery, because I think this is mainly the part that we disagree on. Because I do know even with current medical standards, the age at which you'd get top surgery can be variable depending on consent and the kind of the parental relationship involved, the reason why they're getting the surgery. They're still most likely getting a psychiatric evaluation as well before they're undergoing this top surgery. So that's a whole different beast. But the point that I really want to contest is this bottom surgery. So separating this out, you saw this on a TV show. And what was the case? What specifically was involved in this case?
I saw it on the TV. Now, there's a lot of good science on the TV. PBS science stuff is usually pretty good. There's a lot of good science on YouTube. I'm a big fan of Sean Carroll's podcast. And there's a lot of good science in a lot of places. There's also the Jerry Springer Show. Yeah. And while we're taking a break here, my hat is so off I doff my cap to Dr. Ben Hamilton. He is quite the fella. Let's let him roll. He's done such a great job so far, just drilling down.
What do you mean by that?
So the context. So we have you said did you say the age was 13? Or what age did you say for that one?
I'm sorry, you cut off.
Oh, sorry. For the kid that got the bottom surgery, what age were they? Did you say 13?
Jazz Jennings, one of the most famous trans people, got it when she was 17, and her friend got it when she was 16 years old.
Okay.
Because I looked up their ages.
We're not considering that to be children. So 16 and up. Some places will consider 16 to be able to have autonomy. So that's not really what we mean when we say children don't get surgeries.
Oh, okay. So you just consider 16-year-olds not children, so you move the goalpost?
Oh no, it depends. It depends on the context, because you can have emancipated minors. In fact, there are, like, if you have a child, like, and I'm saying a child in this case, who is unfortunately a kid who's pregnant, because that happens. Once you are pregnant, you are considered emancipated in terms of medical care. So you are then in charge of that fetus that you are carrying, and your parents are not the ones in charge of that autonomy. So there are cases where we do supposedly move the goalposts, but that's with regard to medical context. So what I was getting at here with this particular case is the medical context surrounding it, because you can say, yeah, this person had surgery, but then I have a lot of questions, because you can get genital surgeries for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
And would someone's medical history factor into their eligibility for certain surgeries?
May I interject? I just
Yeah, go for it. Go for it,
checked
Stephanie.
into. Jazz Jennings was born October 6, 2000. Her surgery was...
She was 17 and a half. Around.
I'm just trying to be accurate here. I'm just trying to get facts. I saw it on a TV show, and I'm trying to figure out a little bit of... I'm doing a little fact checking here. I'm not trying to dispute you in any way, shape, or form. I think that I'm not qualified. I think that student Dr. Ben is studying to be a doctor, so he's probably a lot more familiar with the Journal of American Medical Association than I. But I'm just basically saying we're talking about someone who is on the edge of, beyond the edge of 17, more like on the edge of 18. I'm looking for the date that her surgery was scheduled, which is also in here somewhere. But anyway, please carry on. It was scheduled for June 20th, 2018. So she was born October,
I was going to say that.
November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. She was 17 years, 8 months.
And do we know, like, she very well could have been emancipated at that time. So there's, legally speaking, she very well could have been making those medical decisions for herself and not needed parental. So
her parents say that she said that she had expressed the fact that she was a girl since she was first able to speak. They were very supportive. So, you know,
Yes.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
mean,
it's a matter of transactivism in speaking your truth and telling your story, the story of your own life. I don't think that's transactivism at all. I think that's just being a genuine human being.
Seven, I'll let you comment because I know we've been talking for a little bit.
No, you guys are fine. Well, I guess my point is just that I mean, come on, like I remember when I was 16, I was definitely a child. I don't really believe that children that young can even consent to that. And if you know, transactivists think that it's so moral, then I don't understand why they deny it and say that children don't get it, because I mean, it is a fact. I mean, I don't really think these surgeries are anything like, oh yeah, anything casual. Like when I think of a 13-year-old girl who wants to be a boy getting, like, you know, his top surgery, I don't know. And it's not, I don't really think that's right. And a lot of other people don't.
Should minors be allowed to make medical decisions in general? Like, let's say, let's take this totally out of the question. Just different context. We have, so I'll actually use myself as an example. So I had major facial surgery when I was 17, and it was not purely cosmetic. Ended up having some cosmetic components, but basically I had such bad overbite that I couldn't breathe properly. Right. So I had a cosmetic surgery, essentially, that also filled a medical necessity. And I was 17 and I had this procedure done. And that's a pretty irreversible procedure where they're breaking your face in multiple pieces and putting it back together and giving you a whole new, like, skull structure. So do you think I would not have been able to consent to that because I was too young to make my own decisions?
No, but
so what's different about that procedure than the ones you're talking about?
Okay. Let's use Jazz's friend Skylar as an example. So here's one thing that I don't get about, you know, I don't know what you would call it, gender theory, gender ideology. So on the show, I Am Jazz, she says that she, ever since when she could first speak, she asked her mom, when is the fairy gonna give her a vagina or whatever, something like that. But then, and you guys will say, oh, that means she's a girl. But then you guys also say that genitals have nothing to do with your gender, and like, having a vagina, you could be a man with a vagina, you could be a woman with a penis. Like,
you can.
Okay, so then how does wanting a vagina make you a girl when you're biologically male?
I think, if I may, I think it's important to understand, and I assume you're calling this show in trying to understand some of these issues. I think it's important to understand that different people approach their gender identity and their gender presentation and their sexuality and the concept of sex and gender very, very differently. People, there's no roadmap to for either cis or trans people. There's no one roadmap to coming to terms with your gender identity and how deeply dysphoric or non-dysphoric you are with it, whether it's dysphoric with the gender you're assigned at birth, or something else. I mean, I think it's a mistake to call a personal struggle for oneself an ideology. And one of the more uncomfortable things for trans people is the what seemingly to us is a personal matter of just living our lives, to have some people so concerned about how we live our lives, how we relate our lives to our families, to our friends, to our medical providers. In our own personal struggle, we often have people who simply want to say, you're doing it wrong. And, I wouldn't presume to tell a cis person, you're doing it wrong. I have no idea. I'm not cis. I never have been. If you wanted to compare my history to anybody else, I was born in 1953. And when I told my mom I was a girl at the age of 3.5, things were very, very different. I'm not Jazz Jennings. I wish I had been. I wish that I had had the same level of understanding. Of course, that's a terrible shock to any parent, especially in times where these things were not at all understood, and in times when anything out of the norm with sexuality and gender was a crime, actually. So I think it's really important to. I would hope, Seven, that you would think that that we're just people trying to make the best of our lives and be who we are. That's not ideological at all. It's individual. And to me, to be honest, the ideology is the refusal of some people to accept that people like me and Jazz, and maybe her friend, I'm not familiar with the TV show, I haven't watched it, are just people.
It's funny, I cut it off before I said I've got no axe to grind. I don't know why people have an axe to grind against me, but apparently they do. It's the way I ended that conversation. So anyway, that's an example of trying to have a conversation in a fairly well observed public forum with people. So yeah, that's one place, and this is with a person who clearly is approaching this topic from the point of view of what he heard on the TV, not what he read in medical journals, not what he read in studies, not what he heard here or there, but in a specific place for a specific thing. And yeah, there's a lot of disinformation out in the world. A lot of it is something that I don't know. People have read on the front pages of the New York Times. Oh, there's a gender clinic in St. Louis, Missouri. This happened this year. There's a gender clinic in St. Louis that's just handing out hormones willy-nilly. It was all not true. But yet it was reported on the front pages of the New York Times. Now, did anybody do the follow-up to that story to actually see what procedures are that clinic was operating under? Not in the pages of the New York Times. So the only thing that gets out into the public is that front page, eyeballs on screens, asses in seats, or in the case of Dead Tree Media, paying the advertising bills, paying the reporter. I forget the reporter's name, but her beat is this issue, and every single story she's written thus far has been, somebody said a thing and therefore it's true kind of coverage. So yeah, I think it is important to get out there, and I think it is important to have a public debate, and I think I've done my absolute best at being a part of that. And it takes a bit of it takes a bit of being willing to put yourself out there to have those conversations. That's what I mean when I say it looks different when you're at the top of the spear, at the tip of the spear. And I'll get into what that phrase means a little bit by way of introduction. Let's look at the dictionary. See if I can find the right thing. I didn't put it in the right spot. Well, let's go to Wiktionary. Wiktionary. What does Wiktionary tell us that the tip of the spear means? Let's see if I can see it, because I can't read that. You kidding me? Noun, tip of the spear. It's a saying, English saying. It's an idiom. The foremost person or group, those on the front lines. The leading position of someone in a difficult situation. I think that, let me see if I get this right. I'll just go back and Cambridge Dictionary. That's the other one. This one has a whole bunch of ads. Forgive me, but I guess Cambridge needs to make money. The person or group that is the first to do something considered difficult or dangerous, especially a group of soldiers who are the first to enter a battle area. Yeah. In other words, those who are at risk, those who are most at risk. Those who have those who are willing to, if not carrying spears themselves, those who are willing to face the spears of their opponents, the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune directed our way. It does look different from that perspective. It really does. it's a curious place to be, a curious place to live. But some of us do it, and some of us every now and again feel a pinprick. Hopefully we don't get speared through. But anyway. But these arguments aren't put forward by people who are religious exclusively. I have no idea what Seven's religious background is. He just don't like it. Well, there are other people that are that don't necessarily hold a religious belief, or who have expertise in another area of science, but not necessarily medical science, which is a term of art in many, many ways. One of those people is Sabine Hassenfelder, who had similar questions. She put out a video in May, I think it was, late April. It was early May, probably first week of May this year, asking, is transgenderism a fad? Probably taking a theme from a popular book based on a discredited anecdotal study. Whose subtitle was "The Transgender Craze Afflicting Our Daughters." What these people's religious beliefs are, I don't know. But when you have somebody with a PhD in physics chiming in saying, yep, think it is, becomes problematic. Do I think that needs to be rebutted? Yeah, I do. I think it does, and I did in a video that I released on this channel back in May addressing this, and I'm going to play a snippet of that. By the way, the title of her video is Trends a Social Fad Among Teenagers? Dr. Hassenfelder. Listen to what she has to say here. It's showtime, Sabine.
Good reason to put your child through this. Unfortunately, the evidence that puberty blockers actually improve the mental health of children presenting with gender dysphoria is slim. Some studies have found a small benefit in the reduction of suicidal tendencies, but these studies didn't have control groups, so the benefit might have come simply from receiving
Stop the
treatment
tape right
and being
there.
cared for.
Oh my
Studies have found.
My goodness, I'm on the wrong darn window. This is a problem for me sometimes. Yeah, we'll stop the tape right there. But these studies did not have control groups. Dr. Hassenfelder applies that standard to every study she mentions, which, by the way, she also, in her video, locks the links to all the studies she references behind her Patreon paywall. So you can't, it's not easy to find this stuff she's talking about. With a little diligence, you can get around. And I don't even really want to, although I did provide actual links to some studies as regards GnRH agonists, which analogs, GnRH analogs, which I, that's what puberty blockers are. They basically interfere with the release of sex hormones and their uptake. They sort of postpone the effects of testosterone or estrogen until giving a kid time to consider things. So, she makes reference over and over again to these are experimental, they are this, that, and the other thing. Well, you could say they're experimental, except that they were introduced in the 80s. One of their uses was to delay precocious puberty for cisgender children. And so they have been in use. They've also been used to treat endometriosis in young girls. There are studies as to bone mass and all of this other stuff that have gone on. But here's the thing, the control group, when we're talking about control groups, I want to talk about a paper that was written and published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 1991, volume 324, number 22, New England Journal of Medicine. And the title of the paper is "Of Mice But Not Men: The Problems of the Randomized Clinical Trial." I think it points out why it's unethical. The ethics are more than questionable for withholding therapies that are known to produce positive results when you can't do a control group. You can't do a double-blind study. First of all, let's talk about diagnostics when we're talking about issues of treating gender dysphoria. If a child, or an adult for that matter, is presenting with insistent, persistent, consistent signs of gender dysphoria, that child is thoroughly examined so that, given the nature of the possible treatments, the limit on access to medical treatments, which do not take place before the age of approaching puberty, 11, 12-ish, when things start going. I don't recall off the top of my head the Tanner stage at which they're introduced, but in any event, by that time, a candidate for that sort of thing has been evaluated very, 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 very consistently and carefully by a medical team and by a family, by the kid herself or himself or their self. It's a serious thing, given the social implications, given the medical implications, all of this stuff. And so the idea that these children, who Sabine acknowledges are real, it's a real thing. It is a phenomenon. I like to say that being trans is another way of being human. It's just different. It's not common. The latest things, 0.6% of the population will have that sort. Will have this sort of condition. But the point is, there are no alternative therapies, and the therapies that have been used over the course of the last 50 years, nearly. Well, let's just say 25 at least, through the DSM-3 to 4 to 5, through the evolution of the Harries-Benjamin standards of care into WPATH. These practices have been shown time after time after time, and case after case after case, to have a positive impact on the people that are affected by these, by this condition, which is, again, a part of the human condition. So how do you do a randomized double-blind study? What do? You have identified the target group. You've identified a target group of gender dysphoric, let's say children, because this is where Sabine is focusing. You've identified that group. You offer one group GnRH agonists or gender affirming hormones. I mean, if you take it out of the realm of young people, generally hormones aren't introduced until 15, 16 or so. So basically what we're talking about is 2 years of the best practices. From my understanding, I am not a physician, I'm a cell maker. My understanding of best practices is 2 years of blockers, then gender affirming hormone therapy is introduced. And the reason for the 2 years is there are known side effects from GnRH agonists. There are side effects for cis people taking GnRH agonists that have to do with mineralization. Interestingly enough, in one study, which is referred to again in the notes for this video, finds that in most cases, any bone mineral loss that occurs or that hasn't taken place does come back quicker with trans boys than trans girls, interestingly enough. And I think that has to do with the action of testosterone in bone building. But again, I'm not a physician, I don't know. But so you give one cohort GnRH agonists or gender affirming hormone therapy, and you give the other group nothing. Now remember, the other group is part of this group. It's part of this group that is suffering, that has real conflicts and serious discomfort. And they know who they are. They've been persistent, insistent, consistent in expressing who they are, in expressing what their gender identity is. That's the group. And you give half of them a placebo, and let them go through what to them is the wrong puberty, and you give the other half of the group a chance to pause and think more clearly. Does that make sense? So this paper, this 1991 paper of Mice But Not Men, points this out. As medicine has become increasingly scientific and less accepting of unsupported opinion or proof by anecdote, which is what Sabine is basically saying the medical profession has been doing over the course of the past 30 years or so. The randomized controlled clinical trial has become the standard technique for changing diagnostic or therapeutic methods. The use of this technique creates an ethical dilemma. Researchers participating in such studies are required to modify their ethical commitments to individual patients and do serious damage to the concept of the physician as a practicing, empathetic professional who is primarily concerned with each patient as an individual. Researchers using a randomized clinical trial can be described as physician scientists, a term that expresses the tension between the two roles. The physician, by entering into a relationship with an individual patient, assumes certain obligations, including the commitment always to act in the patient's best interests. As Leon Kass has rightly maintained, quote, the physician must produce unswervingly the virtues of loyalty and fidelity to his patient, end quote. Though the ethical requirements of this relationship have been modified by legal obligations to report wounds of a suspicious nature and certain infectious diseases, these obligations in no way conflict with the central ethical obligations to act in the best interests of the patient medically. Instead, certain non-medical interests of the patient are preempted by other social concerns. What could possibly be the other social concern that Sabine Sabine, Dr. Sabine, what is the social concern that Dr. Sabine has? That this cohort of people who are suffering might have access to therapies that she finds dubious on the basis of the fact that there hasn't been a randomized clinical trial, and therefore the studies that have been conducted are worthless. And I think that has something to do with what Sabine does for a living. As the paper goes on, the role of the scientist is quite different. The clinical scientist is concerned with answering questions, i.e., determining the validity of formally constructed hypotheses. Such scientific information, it is presumed, will benefit humanity in general. The clinical scientist's role has been well described by, wait for it, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Remember, this is 1991. Director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, who states the goals of the randomized clinical trial in these words: it is not to deliver therapy, it is to answer a scientific question. So, that the drug can be available for everybody once you've established safety and efficacy. End quote. The demands of such a study can conflict in a number of ways with a physician's duty to minister to patients. The study may create a false dichotomy in the physician's opinions. According to the premise of the randomized clinical trial, the physician may only know or not know whether a proposed course of treatment represents an improvement. No middle position is permitted. What the physician thinks, suspects, believes, or has a hunch about is assigned to the not knowing category. So we're looking for a binary. There may be binaries in physics, but there aren't in medicine. Because knowing is defined on the basis of an arbitrary but accepted statistical test performed in a randomized clinical trial. Thus, little credence is given to information gained beforehand in other ways, or to information accrued during the trial, but without the required statistical degree of assurance. What's the sigma? That was me. But without this required statistical degree of assurance that a difference is not due to chance. So it goes, there's a section of the paper that goes into the foundations of these things, whether you're a subscriber to Kant or a neo-Kantian, or a subscriber to John Stuart Mill's utilitarianism. So in brief, asserting that human beings, this is a Kantian view, human beings by virtue of their unique capacity for rational thought are bearers of dignity. As such, they ought not to be treated but I just wanted to
merely as a means.
An increase in the number of teenagers identifying as transgender is both real and substantial. It's also clear that the demographic group is markedly shifting, now heavily skewed towards those assigned female at birth, many of which present with other mental health disorders. Evidence that those children would benefit from puberty blockers or hormone therapy is slim, with large uncertainties. The side effects can be substantial, and the long-term consequences are mostly unknown.
They've been used for 20 years, more than 20 years. Where are you getting your data? Jesse Single.
Exactly what is going on, no one really knows. But the reasonable expectation is that the current increase in reports of gender dysphoria is caused by a mixture of two causes. Young people are more comfortable being openly trans, and some of them erroneously believe they are trans because they've heard so much about it. I'd say that anyone who insists that one of those possibilities doesn't exist is pushing an agenda and shouldn't be taken seriously.
The agenda is health.
I mean, how do you tell these two possibilities apart? This is
the people that are pushing the agenda on the other side are not organizing to ban healthcare or to make it more available. They're asking to be left the fuck alone to make these decisions between their physician and their family and themselves. There is no agenda. Who's got the agenda here? You guys are out there trying to pass freaking laws in state after state, in country after country. You're doing that. We're not doing that. We're asking for medical professionals to take the lead, not journalists, not physicists. We're asking to simply be left alone to live our lives. We're not recruiting. We're not grooming. We're not saying, hey, cis people, you all ought to be trans. But you are saying, hey, trans people, you ought to be cis. Or You know, you can be trans, but you have to be miserable. What the fuck? What the actual scientific fuck? I've tried to take a measured tone here, but my goodness. Follow on.
Currently unclear. And this is why countries like Sweden, Finland, and the UK are asking doctors to hold back with prescriptions. Because at the moment, they don't know how to deal with the sudden surge of girls presenting with gender dysphoria, and they don't want to do any harm. So, what do you think? Do you have
I must have skipped it, but she made reference to the reason that Sweden and the UK. By the way, she makes reference to the UK. The UK is a fucking shit show. The National Health Service is very, very hard to deal with for trans people because there are enormous waits. You know, it takes years to get an appointment with a gender clinic, and then it takes years and years and years beyond that to actually have any care provided. But the in 2021, the High Court in the UK put in a ban for GnRH for the use of GnRH agonists and the High Court overruled it. And Sabine makes reference to it, but doesn't make reference to the fact that the High Court overruled that law because it violated what's called Gillick competence, which is when a teenager can make medical decisions for themselves. And Gillick competence arose out of what? Contraceptives. So this to me is an example of a person with 857,000 followers reading an article by Jonathan Chait, Jesse Singal, doing a tiny bit of research, but not anywhere near enough. Jonathan Chait and Jesse Singal are two American journalists who have made it, particularly Singal, has made a career out of going after trans people. Primarily for The Atlantic. And Chait for New York Magazine. They're very careful centrists. And they very carefully point out that people who simply want to live their lives have an agenda that conflicts with their delicate sensibilities about a topic they know nothing about. Nothing. Sabine's not alone in this. Quite famously, on a topic that's of great interest to me, trans women in sports, being a trans woman in sports. There are a couple of people in the community that I know of anyway, who will say, well, trans women are women until they want to play, at which point they're men. I've done multiple videos on that topic. So, yeah, just see if there's anything else. Carrying with her a level of professional training that says that in medicine, as in physics, a double-blind clinical trial is the only thing that can establish proper praxis. And therefore, what is the consequence of that? consequence of that are laws being passed by, oh, I don't know, physicists, used car salesmen, accountants, mechanics, sitting in state legislatures who are willing to take away people's existing access to healthcare, access to bathrooms, access to public streets. Principally focused on women. So, don't want to, but she's buying into this. Is an example of someone just asking questions who can't get beyond the questions that she's asking to see the consequences of her reflections on real people in real time. When you pass a law that says that if you allow your child without any medical intervention at all, social transition, if you allow your child to social transition, the state of Florida will take that child away from you. And if you are a trans parent, the state of Florida will take your children away from you, because both of those things consist of child abuse. Missouri, doing pretty much the same thing, making trans healthcare totally illegal. Fortunately, today, a judge put forward an injunction on having that law go into effect, so trans people at least will have access to medication, et cetera. And the injunction was overruled, so trans families in Missouri have to make other arrangements. That happened after I video. And so forth, and here temporarily until a more permanent injunction can be put in place. The ACLU is working on it, et cetera, and so forth. But it's for trans people all across America, all across the world, it's a daily barrage of these laws being put into place, and that on top of the fact that, you know, there's already stigma attached to it. Our lives are hard enough. We don't need people with huge YouTube channels with huge followings. We don't need the New York goddamn Times or the New York Magazine or, you know, major media publications demonizing us almost at least on the weekly basis. So I want to thank you all for coming and listening to me rant a little bit and my take on Sabine's, all of the link to Sabine's video. Anyway, I let that run quite a while. So in answer to Big Bad Mama's question, yeah, I do think it's valuable, but I also think that sometimes you need to take on the people that aren't laughable. Sometimes you need to take on the people that are taken seriously, like Sabine Hassenfelder, like you know, a couple of heroes of the community. Rationality rules, like Professor Dave, who for both of those gentlemen, I am a woman until I want to play. And not many people are willing to take them on. I mean, I know Kent Hovind doesn't like me one little bit. I know that Ray Comfort doesn't care for me one little bit. I know that Greg Locke doesn't care for me one little bit. I know that the prosperity gospel preachers, the people that literally will never admit to even gay people being blessed in the eyes of God. They're not the people that are doing the damage. The people that are doing the damage are the people like Sabine, like Stephen Woodford, like Dave, that just want to, do an okay, you're good up to this point, but I can't go with you beyond. Regardless what the science actually says. And again, on the topic of trans women in sport, I have video after video after video, particularly taking down Stephen's stuff. Stephen works so hard to say, to come to an understanding. I really enjoyed his talks with Forrest Valkai. Really enjoyed him a good deal. But he won't go with Forrest beyond that step. Because biology is, his definition of biology stops at chromosomes, it doesn't take into account the genes that are on the chromosomes, doesn't take into account the interaction with those genes and the system, the complete system that makes a human being, ultimately. It doesn't take into account comparisons between trans women and cis women as opposed to men and women as categories, and insists on it being categorical when it comes to physicality. That seems to me to be a philosophical mistake on their part. I try to elucidate the arguments in that regard, but it's not so popular to challenge that thinking among people who are atheists. And I have to fight those battles where I find them. For me to do a look at Kent Hovind clucking like a chicken video isn't doing me any good at all. Just isn't. It's not. It's not something that I either care to do or find particularly productive, because they're not the threat. They really aren't, to me and to trans people and to the trans community. The people that are the threat to the trans community are the people that use bad science to draw the boundaries of sex and gender, etc., to their liking. Not on the basis of science, but on the basis of prejudice, of preconceived notions. A chemist, a philosopher, and a physicist walk into a bar. And there's a trans woman there who passes and they try to pick her up. I try to approach this with a bit of humor, but I do value debate, and I do try to put these things out there. Well, I guess what I'm trying to convey is that's what I mean when I talk about my activism and my channel as existing at the tip of the spear. And it's a kind of a polyglot channel. I sing, I talk about sailing, I do this, I do that, but it's just me doing this. And I do talk about trans issues, but being trans is one part of my life. It's not the entirety thereof. And I do have frustrations with that sometimes my frustrations are egregiously poorly targeted. My frustration is the unwillingness to actually find the bigotry. Why do you hold these views? Why is it so important? I mean, I think a perfect example I think Andrew Wilson did us all a favor by coming on into a modern day debates situation and just laying it on the table. I'm not here I grant you your worldview. I grant you your propositions. I want to attack you and your partner. And what happened in that situation is a great hunk of nothing, because modern day debates was there for the fire and not for the light. There for the heat, not for the light. Interested. One side decides to entirely grant the question so that they could go on and shit all over trans people and attack somebody personally. And certainly to the extent that I've done that, that was bad on me. That's why I in the recent dust up and the back and forth, mea culpa. I'm bad stuff. I get so frustrated. I need to rein it in. I do. I need to rein it in some and not get quite so frustrated and not get too pissed off. But I will say, I find it weird that when I make reference to being at the tip of the spear, that somebody would say that I misunderstand what the idiom means, that in reacting in fear and both from fear and from determination to turn that spear point away from my breast, in my pleas to see the assault being made on my personhood as being something worth calling out. That I'm the aggressor here. to the point where a comment is made, not tip of the spear, dick of the spear, to me. At which point I have to ask, what's the motivation here? What is the motivation here? So I hope I answered that question, and I'll leave you with that thought, and I will also open the room if anybody would like to ask me questions about any of this stuff. I'm happy to open the room and talk to whoever would like to join for a few minutes. I've been going on here for an hour and a half. And I'm happy to entertain any questions or comments or just sitting around on a cold midwinter night. So let me just copy this link and stick it in the chat. And I will pin it. And yeah, we can talk about anything. Open room, anything you want. You talk to me about anything. Speak to me. I'm here at your pleasure. Because I love you all, and I want you to know I'm not I'm not trying to be a dick or a. I know if I were in Australia, I could say it on the stream and nobody would care. I do try. I mean, and let's get a little bit more cheerful, because look at what showed up for me today. Look at this. I'm not trying to be a fanny. No, it's well that too. Look at this lovely thing. Look at this lovely thing from the lovely Isai Bree. Go sub to her channel because she is so wonderful. She sent me these flowers and I could cry. It's good to have friends. It is. It's good to have friends. And you know what? I've just discovered that my OBS is AFU. So I got to figure out how to make this less AFU. Wait a minute. Why is this fucked up? I don't understand. It's fucking me up. That. Oh, that's me in the something's fucked up here. God damn. I've fucked up my OBS. It sucks. I don't know how. So yeah, I'm not always polite. I'm not always easy. I'm not always everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. Sometimes the tea tastes extremely bitter. So yeah, a couple of good days. I got flowers from Bree. That was good. And the person that delivered the flowers, this is kind of funny. The person that delivered the flowers, people have a hard time finding my shop. I live I work in this building that in order to find my shop, you got to go all the way around the back of the building to an entrance on the side, and a lot of UPS can't find it from time to time, which is a pain in the ass. It's just a pain in the ass. But anyway, this person from the flower person found the place. They couldn't find it yesterday. Found the place today because they called me and I told them how to get there. They show up, they come in, they drop off the flowers, and first of all, they're asking, well, you know, what do you do? And I said, I'm a sailmaker. And she said, oh, really? We have a Beneteau 40. We usually sail it south to Florida, but this winter we're staying here because the boat needs work, etc., and so forth. What do you do? And it's like, well, yeah. She said, do you give sailing lessons? I go, well, yeah, and I race sailboats and all of this. You have a sail loft? Yeah. So she shows up, she drops off the flowers, she looks around at the place and goes, you've got some pretty good sewing machines. You know, well, I kind of need them. We have this Beneteau 40 and we might need a new mainsail. And I said, well, now you know where I am and you've got my phone number. I'm here. So, you know, that was good. It's like I get flowers and maybe a customer, sometime in the future. And then yesterday I was picking up some groceries, and the people behind me said, we'd like to buy your groceries. And I said, what? And they said, yeah, we'd like to buy your groceries. I said, Merry Christmas. I'm not trying to sound like I'm not trying to sound like Laura from the Glass Menagerie, but sometimes the kindness of strangers is overwhelming. I do not understand why this is all fucked up. Better? Yeah, it's a little better, but it's not really quite right. There. Yeah, that's better. Getting there. Getting there. This. There you go. Hey, look at me monkey around with stuff. Yeah. So, anybody want to come in and chat? Otherwise, it's an hour and a half in. If anybody wants to come in and chat, the link is pinned. I want to shill for anybody. I want to definitely shill Purple Rhymes with Orange. She's been organizing a stream over all of the hours of Christmas, from Christmas Island Christmas to the very last 48 hours of Christmas, basically. And starting at 11 o'clock on this coming Saturday, running right through sometime on the 26th, whatever midnight on the 26th would be. Yeah, it's off by an hour, but that's okay. Who cares? It's all good. See, the international dateline takes a jog out to include Christmas Island for God only knows what reason. Maybe it's just because you want to have Christmas start at Christmas Island, home of the descendants of Fletcher Christian, the famous mutiny on the Bounty. But yeah, that's coming up, and I'll be part of that. I'm taking, I think, the 4th. It's Purple, Scummer, One Ring, me, and hey Bree, thanks for coming in. Oh my goodness, thank you for these. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Room's open if you want to come in. Hey. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to take just a little bit of break. And if I come back and somebody's here, they can come in. If they're not here, call it good. So anyway, the other questions that were in that chat, from my talk with Mark, hopefully after Boxing Day, talk to Mark after the stream, and he realized, oh shit, we didn't get into the Q&A. Hopefully after that we'll put together a co-stream and address the other questions that are in there. But I really thought that Big Bad Mama's question was something I really wanted to address, because I don't know I think a number of people came to know me in some of my worst moments on YouTube, and I wanted particularly Big Bad Mama to see, I do see why having debates is important, and at the same time having an appreciation of my perspective on what debates matter. And, far be it from me to pass judgment. Which I can do, have done, sometimes inappropriately. But I want to urge people to think about what you're getting into when you're, the nature of the opposition. It's not just the God thing, It's not just the God thing that people are on about. It's the bigotry thing that people are on about. And the other thing that gets lost in a very binary view of atheist versus theist is that there are theists who debunk the bad science too. There are theists that stand on the side of social justice. There are theists, regardless of the arguments I personally have with the need for a deity to reflect the divine nature of humanity. I mean, I think it's a tremendous act of creativity to imagine a God and to write her story, his story, their story. Tremendous act of creativity. I think it comes from us, and I think we create our gods. And if we create terrible gods, gods that are vengeful, gods that are hateful, gods that demand that some group of humans slaughter another, treat another poorly, that some group of humans are excised from the possibility of knowing, partaking in the common life that we all share. Those are gods that need to be destroyed, and they're gods of our own imagination. My nephew's God, he doesn't see that way. He created that compassionate God that loves his aunt. He created that. He preaches that. Is it a tremendous fallacy? Yeah, I think it is. But we can talk about that one, because that one doesn't demand my condemnation. Hey, look who's here. The best hive keeper on the internet.
Hive keeper. That's a title I will accept. I will be the hive keeper. So how are we doing? Blue roses. They didn't tell me there was going to be blue roses in there. Those are fucking gorgeous. I don't usually like dead flowers. When I send people flowers, I don't usually like dead flowers. I like to send them live flowers.
Well, I don't. It's not a rose. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not a rose.
It's much prettier than what I initially had ordered you. It was this big basket of cheese and meat and cake and what else was in there? I think there's some nuts and stuff, chocolate. Yeah, I was gonna try to make you fat, and then they're like, no, you can't give her all this junk. She needs pretty flowers to decorate her abode. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
They actually did call and ask if it was okay first, but that's fine.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, check this out. Somebody made a tier list for freaking Bible characters. Look at this.
A what?
A tier list. So you gotta rank them.
Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, of Bible characters. There's Isaac, Jacob, Esau. We got David. We got
nice.
Abraham. Satan's on the list. God is on the list, so you can rank God where you want to rank him. And here's a big
Who?
old Peter.
God?
God's on the list. Yeah, he is.
Okay, Enter wants to see the blue roses. Wait a second. I got
She'll know
to
what they are,
embiggen.
probably.
I got to embiggen me.
Okay.
Let's see.
So
That's
the one, spin it.
this
Yeah,
guy.
those. The one on the side there really looks like a rose. I don't know what they are, but blue roses
Well,
are
this
super
is
like they have the custom
That's the
color. Those.
that is the.
Is there a white one on the same stem?
It kind of looks like it, but I don't know.
That one's just
wait.
gorgeous. That one's perfect right there.
Yeah, it's same.
So
same
the white are going to turn blue when they open.
I don't know. Think so.
Or are they artificially colored blue? Because they can do that too.
Yeah, they could. I don't know. I don't know. They're not roses though. They're definitely not roses.
Yeah, they're so pretty though.
Yeah, they are.
What are they? Lovely. What are they, Aunt Jer? What are they? The white. So they're white when they're closed, and then it looks like they open up and they're blue. The pink ones are carnations, right? So it was like the name of that arrangement.
This one is white. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think they're roses. There are no thorns on them.
Yeah. So this was called the carnation something arrangement.
But they're lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah. I'm sure they look even better without the green all washed out. You know, when they can stand, when they pop against the green. So it looks like all the green's gray.
Yeah, they look lovely. We've got a green screen going on here, so.
So that we can see the main horizon.
Yes, you can. You can see Portland.
Mm-hmm.
From Portland Headlight.
Yeah. I was
wait a minute.
Surprised to see you streaming.
Huh?
I was surprised to see you streaming this evening. I just didn't expect to see you just streaming this early. Usually stuff starts to go down about 8 o'clock or so.
Yeah, I need to go. Wait a minute. I gotta get back. I gotta get back to this strange.
Yeah.
I do not understand this. Explain this to me.
Okay. So what you do is you rate the characters from good to bad on this scale, based on their action, the character, based on the literary character. Like, say for instance, let's say I'm going to take this from like a Christian point of view, right? While I'm doing this, I'm going to take Satan, and we're going to say Prince of Lies goes down here really bad, right?
Oh, you can actually do this in real time.
Yeah, that's why that's why I was coming in here to see if you wanted to do this with me. It's kind of like that. But if you want to do it ourselves, I wouldn't put Satan down here. I put Satan's kind of mad neutral because he's impotent, but at least he has his objectives are in the right place as far as I'm concerned, and as regarding liberation for his people from a tyrant dictator, right? That's what he fought for and died for. He's a failed revolutionary. So let's go with, what do we know about Isaac? Poor Isaac. All I know about Isaac is that his dad was going to kill him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Isaac almost got off by his dad on orders from Yahweh.
Yeah.
So there's a little sympathy I got going on with Isaac.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Isaac in the good tier. Who we got next? We got Jacob.
See, Jacob grabbed God by the balls, which is good.
Yeah, Jacob was kind of a badass, wasn't he?
He's kind of badass right there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the dream coat and stuff, right? Prophet.
No, that was Joseph.
Joseph, yeah, that's Joseph. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Joseph was
Esau.
Joe was one of Jacob's, aka Israel's sons.
So Esau is he's the hairy guy, right? The heir to the
Yeah,
and his brother.
Jacob's brother.
His brother had the what do you do? What do you do? Maybe use like Liam skin or something to fake like he was hairy, so he could get his
Jacob's a badass, but he's also an asshole because he disinherited his brother Esau.
Yeah, and Esau. So I mean, I don't know of anything Esau did that was great. So we're gonna just go ahead and drop Esau.
I don't know if he did anything great.
We're gonna put Esau in meh with Satan. I don't know who Laban.
I mean, it's like he got a goat hair.
You know
and
what?
Put it on his arm.
Actually,
so that
I'm gonna put Isaac down here too, because Isaac and Esau are basically the same character, just they exist to get duped by the prophet, right? Esau and Isaac. Isaac with his dad getting tricked into, well, not tricked, but literally gonna sacrifice him, then Esau getting tricked. These both are both people that were the God, like, just tried to fuck over to prove a point. Poor people. I don't know who Laban is. Do you know who this is? Laban.
Laban. I don't remember the story of Laban.
Let me look him up. Laban. It'll say best remembered for this, and we'll base it on that. Laban, also known as Aramean, is a figure in the book of Genesis of the Hebrew Bible. He's the older brother of Rebekah, who married Isaac. And bore who married Isaac and bore Jacob. Okay, so it's another kind of math character, I guess. This math field's going to be full. Rebekah. She was one of God's rape victims, right?
Yep.
Poor lady. Joseph. That's Joseph with the dream coat. This guy's the badass, right?
Yep. Yeah, his brothers threw him down the well.
Yeah. Then we got Moses.
Yeah.
What do you think? Moses was kind of bad at what he was doing. I mean, he got lost and he spent 40 years to travel 130 some miles. It
got lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no.
victim of circumstance, really.
Freaking Pharaoh. Pharaoh is kind of a victim too.
Definitely a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, because he didn't have an opportunity to not have a hard heart, right?
Yeah.
And then Aaron, which was Moses' second hand. I'm gonna go ahead and put them side by side because why not? Then we got Joshua, Battle of Jericho.
Yeah, well, yeah, just gotta hang on just a second. We gotta just play this little clip.
All right.
Lord, I shall give these laws unto thy people. Hear me. Oh, hear me. All pay heed. The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15. Wait. 10 commandments for all to obey.
Mel Brooks was just a different breed.
Yeah. We got to go back to where we go here. Yeah, at stage.
Yeah.
There we go. We're back. Yep. There we go. Mel Brooks is wonderful.
Yeah. Oh.
Mel Brooks is not in the Bible, in case anybody wanted to know.
All right.
Though he is biblical. He's very, very biblical.
Joshua.
He was an asshole. He slaughtered people. He's an
yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, if you wholesale kill people, I think Moses should come down here too. Just considering the things he's done.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the
and Pharaoh wasn't exactly. I mean,
no,
he had
I wouldn't
slaves.
put Moses down there. Yahweh's got to be down there. It's God's like Moses had a deal with he had a handshake deal with Pharaoh, had the whole thing worked out. He did the hard work, got the deal done, and God said,
"Yeah, oh, God
I'm gonna go and harden Pharaoh's heart here." And,
these tiers are A, B, C, D. S is the top, is the God tier, right? Where we got Jacob and Joseph. The reason I like Jacob and Joseph is because they're basically non-violent characters, right? You're gonna win me over by having a character that's engaging, that's not violent. That's what's so endearing about Lord of the Rings to me. Frodo's not a fighter; he's just along for the ride, you know. Seeing it from the point of view of a civilian person, and especially when dealing with warriors and stuff, and them being civil, is Moses can get some points for that too. But Moses led genocidal campaigns based on the voices in his head. I'm not going to give him a pass on that.
No, well, yeah, but he didn't though, did he?
The Amalekites.
Yeah, but he didn't. He oh yeah, that's right. He did.
He killed the Amalekites, and that's why Joshua was down there too, because he killed that was way back when Joshua killed the Philistines, right? Joshua killed the Philistines, or David.
David did the Philistine thing. That was later.
Who was
Moses Moses never made it across the Jordan. He went up through Edom and all of that, and
yeah. Oh, I have bad scholarship. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I don't remember every jot and tittle of the freaking thing. But I remember some of it. Moses was just sort of a nebbish, really. What I'd like to know is Aaron in there? I don't know. Anybody else want to play this game? It's kind of a fun game. Holy shit, really? Are you shitting me? Is this real? Okay. I gotta share this news. This is fucking amazing. In case you haven't seen it, yeah.
Fellas, Karen Friedman Agnifilo here with a big breaking news alert. The Colorado Supreme Court, by a 4-3 vote, has held that former President Donald Trump is disqualified from holding future office, and therefore Trump cannot be on the presidential ballot in Colorado based on the United States Constitution's 14th Amendment, Section 3 disqualification clause.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but they popped into my feed, and that is huge fucking Holy shit. Follow that up on it with another news source later on, but holy shit. That's something. Uh-oh, looks like the Cape Elizabeth webcam is down. We better get something else. Huh. Jesus Christ, what a mess. My OBS is so fucked up right now. Why, oh why, oh why? Need to do some serious re-engineering. Wow.
All right, I am back. Sorry, putting in food orders. Next, we have another named woman from the Bible on here. Next is this Rahab. What do we know about Rahab?
I forget.
Let's see. We'll look her up. If I don't know who they are, I'll just look them up. Rahab. All right, let's see. Rahab is a figure from the mythos of William Blake. She is pictured as a harlot akin to a whore of Babylon.
Nice.
But she's not even a biblical character. What?
Apparently not. William Blake did an awful lot of mushroom.
Yeah. So no, you're getting, girl. Don't even worry about it. You're going God tier right now. I'm putting you right at top because screw them trying to make you. And then we have Deborah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of named women on this list. I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
Deborah was one of the judges, and she's okay.
I just noticed. Look at this. Look how many women there are. There's Deborah, Ruth.
Oh wow,
Hannah.
more than showed up on. Well, never mind.
Yeah, Esther, Mary Magdalene, Elizabeth.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee. I'm listening though. You won't hear me, but I am listening.
All right, so yeah, it's like I'm surprised to see so many women on here though. It's just because the Bible is usually pretty patriarchal. I don't know what to say about Deborah. What do we know about her? She was in the book of Judges, prophetess. Oh, that's cool. One of those. All right. So she was a prophetess. So what she prophesies about? Let's look. Here's what Wikipedia says. According to the book of Judges, Deborah was a prophetess of God, the fourth judge of the pre-monarchical Israel, and was the only female judge mentioned in the Hebrew Bible. Sounds like a bad bitch. Many scholars contend that the phrase "a woman of Lapidoth," as translated from biblical Hebrew in Judges 4:4, denotes all right, let's see here. Just trying to look through here. Deborah told Barak an Israelite in general from Kadesh in Naphtali, I guess is how you say that. The god commanded him to lead an attack against the forces of Jabin, king of Canaan, and his military commander Sisera. Narrative is recounted in chapter 4. Okay, so we're books of Judges, and Deborah was a judge. So sorry, but ACAB, Deborah, ACAB to you. You can go down here in bad tier. All right, Gideon. The only Gideon I know too much about is the one that leaves the Bibles in the hotel room drawers. So what happens if we look up Gideon? What did this guy do? Gideon, also named Jerubbaal and Jerubasheth, was a militaristic leader, judge, and prophet whose calling and victory. Another cop. Is this list full of cops?
Get rid of Gideon. We don't need Gideon. Fuck him.
I put Deborah and Gideon in the bad column with Pharaoh and Aaron because they are cops.
Fair enough.
We got Samson next, though. Now we're getting to people with supernatural powers. So he's actually like a superhero. When the Lord blessed Samson with his strength, how did Samson use that strength? How was it utilized?
He ripped down another god's temple.
Okay. Who was the other god? Was it Dagon?
I forget.
So we know that. I mean, from what I understand about Samson, is he's basically a palette swap of Hercules or Enkidu from Gilgamesh. Is a lot of his feats and like wrestling the lions and stuff like that. Let's see. Ooh, here we go. Samson is betrayed by his lover Delilah, who sent by Philistines officially to entice him, ordered a servant to cut his hair while he is sleeping and turn him over to the Philistine enemies, who gouge out his eyes and force him to grind grain in a mill at Gaza. Yeah, Gaza be popping up everywhere lately. Mm-hmm. While his hair began to grow again, when the Philistines take Samson into the temple of Dagon, Samson asked to rest against one of the support pillars. After being granted permission, he prays to God and miraculously recovers his strength, allowing him to bring down the columns, collapsing the temple.
Yeah. If I had my way.
He killed himself, though. He's been suicide. I don't know. What do you guys think? Doing Yahweh's bidding is kind of shady, though. Would you do Yahweh's bidding? Samson. Okay, I'm going to put Samson in the meh category. Though we are people with super strength now, so that is cool. And then we have...
Yeah, well... Hang on now.
You got something about Samson that you want to share?
Yeah, of course I do.
I'm here for it.
But keep going.
Oh, you want me to keep going with the list? I can do that. We got Ruth is who comes up next. As far as what Ruth's place in the Bible was, she was, I don't know, she has a book named after her. That's something. It's just rare for a woman too. She's from Moab, married to what's his name, Mahlon, an Israelite. After the death of the male members of her family, her husband, her father-in-law, and her brother-in-law, she stays with her mother-in-law, Naomi, and moves to Judah with her. So she moves to Judah. Does she do anything important, though? Ruth wins the love and protection of a wealthy relative, Boaz. through her kindness. She is the great grandmother of David. So fortunately, she gave us David, but she sounds like a pretty base lady. Other than that, I'm gonna put her up in here because it's kindness and stuff for all. Oh, I'm not even on the screen anymore. Okay, go ahead, play your thing.
If I had my way, I would tear this old building down. Lila was a woman, she was fun and fair. Ooh, she had good looks, God knows, and cold black hair. Delilah, she gained old Samson's mind. When first he saw his woman love, she looked so fine. Delilah, she climbed up on old Samson's knee. Said, tell me where your strength lies, if you please. And she spoke so kind, talked so fair. Till Samson said, Delilah, you cut off my hair. You can shave my head, clean my hand. My strength comes natural as any old man. If I had my way, if I had my way, if I had my way, I would tear this old building down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Had to do it, you know.
Yep.
I like my Bible with Jerry Garcia.
I put Rebecca.
We're gonna be doing the Bible. We're doing it with the Grateful Dead.
I put Ruth up here, and she's all right. I'm okay with.
Oh,
Ruth.
Ruth is marvelous.
She seemed like a sweet lady. Yeah. Next we have
Although
Eli.
she was a bit sort of whither thou goest, I will go thing. That whole thing.
Well, I mean, as a woman, you didn't have a choice, though.
And it was from True Love. It really was. It was.
Yeah. Her and what's Boaz. Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about Eli, though? I don't know much about Eli either. Eli is
coming
from the Book of Samuel.
Eli is coming.
A priest
Girl,
and a
you
judge.
better hide your heart.
All right, another cop. Easy. I'm just gonna keep dropping all the cops in bag.
Yeah, that's
Samuel.
fair. That's fair. It's totally fair.
What's
Samuel?
He has a book named after him too.
He has 2 books named after him.
Yeah, First Samuel.
First and
Samuel.
second.
Yeah, under Paul. Let's see. So he played a role in transition from biblical judge to a United Kingdom of Israel under Saul. That sounds pretty monarchy and gross. So you can go down here with the cop, Samuel. Saul,
Yeah, you can be a cop.
Saul, you're a real piece of work. I'm putting you way down there. I'm assuming. Oh, actually, which Saul is this? I was thinking of Saul, like Paul.
I think that's Saul, King Saul, as in
King Saul.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little different. What's King Saul's? Let's see. I was thinking
he's probably on. I think he's cop material.
Yeah, according to Hebrew Bible, the first monarch of the United Kingdom of Israel. He is traditionally in the late 11th century BC. So he's like a historical figure. We have a history of historical records of his reign. That sounds interesting. I like people that are real that we can actually trace. Supposedly marked the transition of Israel and Judah from a scattered tribe of societies ruled by various judges to an organized state. So he's a politician. Okay. That means he's not this bad, but yeah, you're a cop. I know. Well, I know uniting people though under
that's better. It's better than slaughtering people. Like, he did actually start he started that whole Philistine thing too. So there's that. But
all right, and then we got Jonathan.
Jonathan's up there because he was David's favorite, and he was kind of used by David. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Well,
He's got to be.
David's
he's,
was he a soldier or what? He was like David's.
David was a rapist and David was bi. He's got that going for him, but he was also a rapist.
So David and Jonathan, though, they were a thing, though, right? But
they were a thing, exactly.
But David was a genocidal monster, and Jonathan just gonna stand by and oh yeah, that's what gets my rocks off. No, you're going down here. You stood by and let your lover.
See, Andrew's got it in the chat right there.
Yeah.
I think Jonathan's got to be up there. I think Jonathan was ill-used.
You think we should give Jonathan a higher ranking than this? Maybe up here above Pharaoh?
Yeah, actually, I'd put Jonathan in just cause I'd put Jonathan in like second tier.
Up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then we have Hannah from the Bible.
Ood, absolutely. I can't pronounce your name, but I'm going to call you Ood, because what the hell? You can correct me. Tell me I'm an asshole, and I won't call you asshole.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah. Rocking the Dead. Anybody who's Rocking the Dead is okay with me right now.
You should update the channel title though, because we've spent a lot of time doing this. So maybe, or not the channel title, but the stream title, to say answer some questions and biblical or Bible tier list.
This is like second wind right here.
Yeah,
right.
This is just me and you chilling, having fun, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Which I really appreciate because I needed it after a rather heavy stream.
Right. Yeah, I thought I'd bring something fun to the table, something silly.
Yeah, that's always good because you know what? Doesn't always have to be so fucking serious.
All right. In the narrative, Hannah is one of two wives of Elkanah. The other, Peninnah, had given birth to Elkanah's child, but Hannah remained childless. Childless Hannah, okay? Nevertheless, Elkanah preferred Hannah. According to Lillian Klein, the use of the chasum underscore that. See, there isn't so weird how no one questions these poly relationships these people are in, as long as it's a patriarch with wives.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. This is like, well, this is kind of a Joe Smith kind of thing going on here.
And
sorta.
Just by the default of her not being really responsible for her own fate and being essentially a slave, I'm gonna put most of the women up higher than men just because they didn't actually have a choice in what was going on. Yeah, and it's just
that's fair.
Default.
Also, the childless women, and it's like the only value to a woman is childbearing. It's like the childless women go up there because they had a lot of shit to put up with. Oh, what do you mean you can't give me a kid?
They use the same image for Eli and Samuel. I just noticed.
Listen, mate, maybe it's the little swimmers that ain't working. All right.
I'm gonna put Aaron above Pharaoh too, I think. Then we got Adam, the first man.
Let's take this the story of Abraham and Sarah and Hagar, right? Suppose the whole thing was swapped around. That Sarah is not given birth, and Abraham decides, well, must be my fault because the little swimmers ain't doing their thing, so I'm gonna get my manservant to go in and fuck you.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a kid.
That's kind of weird and gross.
let's swap the story around. Would that have happened? No, apparently not. This is where the patriarchy begins, children.
Mm-hmm.
Listen here.
So Adam's pretty meh in my place too. I mean, in my opinion, he did. Well, the one thing I like that raises Adam up above Eve, in my humble opinion, is that when he knew that she had fallen, he decided he would follow her into damnation rather than stay in the Garden of Paradise, which is freaking. I mean, that's a
wait. Where'd you put Eve?
Eve's not even up here yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Eve is a number one ace in my book.
Yeah. Adam's meh, though, is what I'm saying. Because Adam is I think Adam was more in love with God than he was with Eve. Maybe.
I know.
Imagine that's probably supposed to be virtuous.
But he's still sort of a Promethean figure, right?
Yeah. Okay, you're right. I'll put him up in good because I mean, bad intentions.
He did ultimately choose to know the difference between good and evil. I mean, the serpent didn't lie. He said God was the first liar. He said, "You eat this stuff off this tree here, you'll be dead before the day is done."
Liar! You sit on a throne of lies, Yahweh.
And it was just an absolute, just sitting on a mound of bullshit right there. Total mound of bullshit. Steam and heat, really. A whole Augian stables worth of bullshit.
We got David. The only Bible figures that I put below David are God himself and Donald Trump,
who will not be on the Colorado ballot unless the Supreme Court says he can be. Mm-hmm. You were out when I played that clip from that this came into my feed. Apparently, the Colorado Supreme Court in a by a 1-vote majority said, nope, Trump is disqualified because under the 14th Amendment, Clause 3.
You know what? I'm going to dual stream this, if you don't mind. Is that we're doing the Bible tier list?
Hmm?
Do you care if I stream this to my channel too?
Oh, fuck no. We have to absolutely stream it. This is fun. This is fun shit.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be modding. Well, I think I'm okay. It's like if I thought I'd be done with this stuff before before modding for the line, but one of the most wonderful things about Dave Warnock's show, which I think next to Takis is one of the absolute best shows that is on that channel, is we don't often get trolls in there. You don't see total douchebags in the side chat. Can't say the same thing for some of the other shows, but Dave's is pretty good. Takis trolls galore. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go.
But hey, listen, I'm super happy you're streaming to your community because this is fun. This is fun shit. Let's go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And right now, why are you doing that? It's froze. My system froze up for a second. And I tried to change the thumbnail to the tier list. There we go. Oh, and I think everybody should be able to hear us. Hey, Hive. Good to see you guys. We are.
Look, they're all coming in. Look at this. They love you.
Hey,
they
Maya.
hate me.
No, we just. Oh, stop it. We were over in Steph's side chat, right? And she was talking about some personal stuff, and I'm like, hey girl, come do this tier list with me. So here we are. We're about a third of the way through it though. So
yeah. I was answering the question about do I see some value in debating in talking about bad science? And the answer was unequivocally, there's tremendous value in talking about bad science and in mocking it when necessary and when confronting it when absolutely necessary. And it was a little heavy, but not too bad, I don't think. But I wanted to get that because Big Bad Mama asked me that question in the stream, and we didn't answer any questions in the stream with Mark. And I wanted to address that one right away because I wanted to say, hey, see, all the people, look at my channel. I've done that. I do that. That's kind of my jam, and particularly with respect to trans issues. But anyway, that's neither. Let's get funny. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's do this. We have Goliath next. So maybe we should recap for my audience just real quick what we've done. We got David, we got war criminals down here on the bottom, basically. And then these are just cops and judges and assholes. These are ineffectual people. These are essentially people who had good intention but were put in a bad place. And then these are people who were genuinely seem like they were good people. And these are people who have been either unjustly ridiculed by throughout history because of their assumed role in the Bible without anything else being known about them. That's why Rahab's up here. And then and also people who are just like kind of badasses who were able to make the world a better place without using violence. So that's where we are right now. Goliath is next up. Goliath is a warlord.
He is, but it's like I've always sort of thought of Goliath as kind of a what's the name of Andre the Giant's character in The Princess Bride? Rizek, I think it is. Fezzik, yeah. I've always sort of thought of Goliath as sort of a Fezzik kind of guy.
You think he was just like...
I guess if I have to.
Yeah. Fezzik was a reluctant warrior.
Yeah.
See, I have this completely opposite kind of... because I think because the way they describe the Philistines as being all like freaky giants, I always think of Goro from Mortal Kombat, the big guy with 4 arms and the ponytail on top of his head. That's what I think of when I think of Goliath. So,
okay.
Do you want to put him?
You see,
we don't know anything about him. He's another character we don't know anything about besides he's there to be killed. There to be defeated. Let's put him in.
Yeah, but you know the thing is, I'd put him there. Yeah, I'd put him. I'd put him at tier C.
I think maybe since he's a warlord, maybe we need to put him. He'll be below Adam. So there you go. You think tier C above Satan?
No. It's A. Well, A is the tip top, and B is
I'm looking at backwards because the colors. I got the colors flipped on this one in my anyway. All right, Solomon the Wise. Someone who actually used their superpowers for good, Samson.
He did fuck around a lot. But
you disagree with this?
No, where'd you put him?
Put him at the bottom of B tier.
Bottom of the heap, Samson?
No, bottom of B tier.
I mean Solomon. You put
Solomon at the bottom of B tier. Bottom of B tier, not the bottom of F tier.
Oh, it's bottom of B tier. Yeah, that's cool because definitely the Canticle of Canticles, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, etc., which of course is we don't know about any of these assholes, but if he did write it, he's a pretty good writer because it's the best book in the Bible.
Yeah, David is the worst. Like really is.
David's
Every
an
time I look
asshole.
at every time I
David's,
see
David's
David.
just a shit.
All right.
I mean,
Then
he
we
killed
got-
Uriah so he could marry Bathsheba. He fucked over Jonathan. It's just
He murdered
it's
just relentlessly. Is Bathsheba even on here?
I don't know.
I don't see her, which is wild because they got a lot more women than you expect on here. So
Well, that's good. Whoever made this puzzle did a good job.
yeah, there's like Sarah's on here, and it's weird that like Sarah, Esther, all these ladies, but no Bathsheba. But she's and I like to think of Bathsheba as kind of an important character in the development of the of who King David was, right?
Yeah, I got another one because I got another one here. If I get copyright struck, well, I guess I can get copyright struck.
Don't get me copyright struck though. I don't want a copyright strike. Did you freeze up?
A little snippet ain't gonna get copyright struck.
No, it just play like less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Bathsheba smiles. She smiles and things turn to ice. She smiles and heads bow down.
There you go.
Bathsheba
Anybody
smiles.
who's never heard of Richard Thompson should listen to his music. It's marvelous stuff.
All right.
See, Bree and I hang out and do the old folky shit a lot, and it's so fun. And for all the folks in your stream that haven't seen this yet, I gotta show you this. I got to show you this beautiful thing. I got to show you this beautiful
You got more
thing.
people watching yours than I do. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't want you're the people that have joined and haven't seen this yet. This you just need to see what this wonderful. Oh my God! I guess I better turn off my green screen in order to make this work.
Yeah, that looked crazy. It's like matte flowers.
In order to make this work, please bear with me for just a second. I gotta f around with OBS, which has been plaguing me all night. But what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do?
I'm gonna read about Elijah while you get that figured out.
I gotta turn.
According to the book of Kings, the Hebrew Bible, a prophet and miracle worker who lived in the northern kingdom of Israel during the reign of King Ahab. In 1 Kings 18, Elijah defended the worship of the Hebrew God over the Canaanite deity Baal.
Yeah.
God also performed many miracles through Elijah, including resurrection. Sweet as necromancer, bringing fire down from the sky, and a pyromancer, and entering heaven alive by fire. So scrying through. They look a lot brighter for me too.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Just look at this. This lovely human being sent to me that I got today from the one, the only Bree.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You're welcome.
Isn't
Merry Christmas.
Isn't that beautiful?
Splash of color for your life.
Yeah, gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
So
Happy
Elijah,
Arab, that song is a wee bit racist. Yes, indeed it is. Are you fucking kidding me? The king of the burning sands. Absolutely. Oh yeah, and here it is. Here it is with no green. It's like
the green helps the flowers pop, I think.
oh yeah.
So we got Elijah up on deck next, and he had all kinds of
Yeah. I gotta
freaky
put
powers.
you back on the. I gotta put this thing back up there.
Yeah,
There we go.
He had all kinds of superpowers and stuff. He could like go into the afterlife by looking into the fires. He could resurrect the dead and bring down fire from the sky, which to me it makes me think that he had some kind of knowledge of a meteor shower coming and used that as a bargaining tool to display his power. Because there was nights throughout history where there's just been insane meteor showers where it's like, oh my gosh, the end of the world is here. So
you know how many times? Do you know how many times the world has ended according to so many people? It's like, yeah, but it didn't.
What do you guys think? If they're in the side chat, in the live chat, what do you think about Elijah? Should Elijah? Because he had superpowers, he didn't use them to. I don't know, but he did unite people. Uniting people is. He defended the worship of the Hebrew God over that of the Canaanite. What? Well, was he about freedom of religion though, or was he about were the Canaanites? He was a dick. You think? I don't know much about.
Oh, he was a dick. Well, yeah, and he killed a bunch of kids. He called upon God to kill a bunch of kids because they called him Baldy.
About the bear thing. Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh,
that's just garbage.
He's a total monster.
He's a garbage human being.
Yeah, let's put him down. He should be. He should be down here.
He's in the doghouse.
He's
or
just
the
above
bear house.
I guess I was maybe thinking of. Was I thinking of Elisha or Elisha?
Yeah, the two of them are all together. Even in the Bible itself, the two of them are kind of
historically similar. Yeah, let me see here. Elisha is.
Hey,
I don't want to hold him. I don't want to hold him responsible. May not be here,
but we'll do our best. And by the way, if anybody who wants to get in on this, there's a link pinned in my chat.
I need to drop a link too, just the StreamYard and pin it, and you can come do a biblical tier list with me. All right, there we go. Drop that in the side chat.
I just. Yeah, I got the lyrics to Bathsheba Smiles.
How come it's not letting me
running in my head?
Bizarre, that's not letting me pin the link. This is way behind. There we go.
The chorus of the song that I clipped just minutes of, Bathsheba Smiles.
Yeah.
The chorus goes, do you close your eyes to see miracles? Do you raise your face to kiss angels? Do you float on air to hear oracles? Bathsheba smiles, smiles. Bathsheba smiles, smiles. No doubt can cross her mind. Cross her mind. It's a wonderful song. Listen to
this was Elijah's protege, so I'm just gonna put them right together. They did the same shit together. Worked the same kind of grift of miracles, and took advantage of gullible people. So yeah.
Yeah, those people suck
Now we got
for all
Jezebel.
eternity.
What is Jezebel
You
known
know,
for? Being seductress, right?
yeah, Jezebel was maligned in my view. She was the loose woman. In other words, she's a woman who knew her own mind and got her on.
Yeah.
Got her job on. She's got to be a B anyway.
A B? Okay. Well, so
Yeah, I
here's
think
Ruth.
so.
Here's Ruth. Ruth's our girl.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Jonathan, which is, so you think maybe between Hannah and Solomon? I was actually going to put her down here above Rebecca on C tier, but you think she's above
Yeah.
or below Solomon?
Yeah,
Hannah?
Solomon and Jezebel kind of belong in the same place to me.
Okay, yeah, we can
A
just do it like
tie.
that. There we go. All right, then we got Ahab. So he was actually the well, I looked this up just recently because I wasn't real familiar. He was the captain of the Quipod. It's a whaling ship, and he was after the big white whale.
That's Captain Ahab.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
looked it up. I wasn't going to come into this blind.
Oh boy, do I have something for that.
I've actually done I'm like a whale kick right now. This coming Saturday, we're going to be talking about whales again on Life in the Hive. So don't
Great.
miss that because we got some side fails about surviving in the belly of a whale. Do we have Jonah on this list? Is Jonah on here? Yeah, he is. Sweet.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome. But I've got a I gotta find the fucking file. This is a Gary Larson cartoon. Gary Larson, The Far Side.
Yeah.
And it's one of the funnier cartoons ever. And that fucking thing.
It was a she-bear, I believe, in the quotes of Elijah. Yeah, killed like 40 kids though, like 42 kids.
Yeah, that's see, that's garbage. That's just garbage.
There's a song
It's
from
no
Acid
good.
Bath called Jezebel. I know
There we
Acid
go.
Bath, thrash metal from the 80s. Black goat semen. Let's die screaming.
I'm sorry. Say again.
It says this
Goat semen, did you say?
The lyric to Jezebel by Acid Bath. It says, "Let's die screaming, black goat semen." I think I've heard that once, but I can't remember when or where. All right.
Yeah.
So what do we know about Ahab? Do you know about Ahab?
Well, hold on. I let me just
He's on the coins, but
stop that screen for a sec. No, I'll stop this one. Stop my screen, and then I'll present.
I swear, girl, if you get my channel a strike, I'm gonna kick your butt.
I'm not gonna get your channel a fucking strike, unlike Oz, who strikes himself the entire time.
I just get claims from I get claims still for my intro that Oz threw together, but I think I can tool it out. I thought the buzzing would tool it out, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Hey, Sue Mommy.
YouTube be you're evil. How the fuck do I do this? Oh, window. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Share that window. Check that out.
Millions of people in the city, and look who I rear-ended. And it's a whale.
That is Captain Ahab with his harpoon and his peg leg getting out of his car, going after the poor white whale.
Moby Dick, which was based on a real whale named Mocha Dick.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Hey, Tsunami.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the tier list though, because there's
Let's
a whole
let's get
ton of
right
guys
back
to
there.
go through. All right, so we're talking about Ahab. You got to think about Jezebel, and you got to think about there's some war associated with Ahab. Like the battle, what's it? The battle of Quarquar. Extra biblical records exist of that. That's pretty interesting. Ahab contribution was estimated at 2,000 chariots and 10,000 men. So he was a war politician. Okay. Let's put him, I don't know, probably here with Aaron.
Yeah, kind of.
It sounds like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Aaron was a war, so was Pharaoh. I don't know. Am I wrong to put war politicians above cops? Because these are all cops down here. And then the 3 war politicians and then cops. They're like categories. I'm having so much fun doing this though. All right. Look, do you see who's next on the list though?
No.
It's right here.
Who you got? Oh, God. God's the fucker. God's number one. God's
rung,
at
baby.
Bottom rung tail end.
We found the basement. And you know what? I'm going to blow your all's mind by doing something with this next person that you don't expect and putting this guy right at the top of B tier.
Is that Jesus?
Yes.
No, that's all right. It works.
I think Jesus was a good dude. From what I know about him, he seemed pretty. Of all the characters in the Bible, he'd be up here. Yeah. So
he had his faults. Definitely had his faults, but for the most part,
I think his faults humanized him well.
People.
We get to actually see some humanism in him when he flips over the table, and you know, when you actually get to see him have a range of emotion. Besides, if you're gonna like weird going straight from God, Jesus, and then Nehemiah. Nehemiah, what do we know about Nehemiah? Nehemiah, central figure of the book. He's got his own book.
I'm lost in that regard.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna read. Most scholars believe
we need Dr. Josh in here. We need
or Jason from Dragons in Genesis.
Yeah.
Calling Dragons in Genesis. Join us. Oh, we got Ezra. He's the same at the time, contemporary Ezra. Okay. Nehemiah is the central figure of the book of Nehemiah, which describes his work rebuilding Jerusalem during the Second Temple period. He was governor of Persian Judea under, he's a governor. Politician. We know what to do with you. Since I don't know anything too bad about you, I'm going to put you right at the top. It's very rare the politician rising above D tier is as rare as a camel passing through the eye of a needle. I just wanted to put that down there.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That's my thoughts on it. You make your own choices in the side chat. Do we have comment section I can read? Yes, we do. Excellent. Okay. Got too many windows open. I'm getting lost. There we go.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot, which kind of sucks. But
you only have one monitor, don't you?
No, I have 2.
Okay. I didn't know if you had 2 or 1.
It's not enough. I need like 5.
Yeah. All right. Next is our homegirl Eve. The fruity bitch. I would have ate that fruit too, girl. Don't feel bad. Don't even feel bad, Miss Eve.
I'm throwing Eve at top tier. Eve is a number 1 ace because she listened to the truth.
It shows knowledge.
And chose knowledge over obedience.
Hell yeah.
That's
I'm
got to
there with
be
ya.
the queen bee.
All right. So I think we hit the ceiling there too. So in the last 4 selections, we've hit the ceiling and the floor. Everything else will be between God and Eve, right? Every
Pretty
other
much.
person's going to be. I don't see anybody else on this list that could rise
We haven't
above
had
that.
Satan yet. Have we had Satan?
Satan. Yeah, Satan's mid tier.
Okay.
Because he was a warlord. failed liberator, remember?
Yeah. He did sort of lead that great rebellion of the angels.
Yeah. Which was cool because he was trying to get their freedom, but he failed.
On the other hand, yeah. On the other hand, I don't know. Nobody died in that though. I wouldn't put him top tier, but where is he? Where have we got him?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, he's meh.
Yeah. I think he should be good.
I think he should be B. I think he should be B tier.
You think so? All right. So in B tier we have Solomon at the bottom and Jesus at the top. I know you probably agree that he's below Jesus, but
yeah, probably.
We got Ruth and Jonathan. He's below Jonathan. I'm gonna put him.
Yeah. Okay. That works. That's fine.
Okay. So he's mid. He's the mid upper tier. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right. Esther, the heroine of the Book of Esther. Oh, she has a book named after her too.
Well, Esther is cool. Esther's pretty cool. I like Esther.
Mordecai,
Mordecai's an asshole, and Mordecai was okay. Haman was an asshole.
Haman, yeah.
Yeah.
Grand Vizier.
Grand Vizier. Yeah, and the coolest, that is my favorite religious holiday in the Jewish tradition or Christian tradition. Is Purim. And Purim is a holiday upon which it is enjoined in Talmud that a Jew should not know the difference between should get so intoxicated as to not know the difference between cursed be Haman and blessed be Mordecai. Which is, when I was in college and I went to I went to Brandeis, which is a school of deep Jewish tradition, was a hell of a holiday, because that injunction was quite religiously observed.
Nehemiah made me think of Maya, said Sumami. That's funny. Nehemiah. Yeah. Well, I put Esther right here by Rebecca. Just sort of, regular old decent people trying to live their lives.
Decent people trying to get along.
Yeah. And next we have Mordecai, which let's look. Mordecai.
Nehemiah was a bullfrog. I like it. Was a good
Nehemiah was a bullfrog. Was a good friend of mine.
Speaking of which, anybody do a search on YouTube for Little Richard doing "Joy to the World" and listen to the whole thing. It's really funny. It's great. It's just Little Richard doing that song is just so fucking cool.
It doesn't tell you much about his personality, though. Mordecai was also the cousin of the guardian of Esther, who became queen of Persia under the reign of Ahasuerus, Xerxes I. Mordecai's loyalty and bravery are highlighted in the story, so he's loyal and brave.
Yeah, it's got to be on the same tier as Esther, anyway.
Yeah, we'll put them together too.
Yeah,
some good folks. Yeah. All right. Next
Yeah,
we
them's
have
good people. They did their best under trying circumstances.
Heyman's a freaking politician.
Heyman's a fucking politician, yeah.
We know where to put you, Heyman. Yeah. Then we have Job. Poor Job.
You know,
I think Job was probably a good guy. I'll put him right here with Rebecca. What do you think?
yeah, I think so. Good. Yeah, definitely good.
Job's book is fire, though. If you're gonna read any book in the Bible, read Job. Rest of them are like below it as far as supernatural stuff and magic and crap. If you like that fantasy,
Logan Fisher's going top tier, and I'm close to saying
for Job.
Yeah,
I would be willing to move Job up below Jesus.
Yeah,
below Jesus. I'll put Job right there because all through it, he knew what he had to do to keep and he just kept doing it. Job deconverted me, says Logan Fisher. That's a powerful message.
It is.
Yeah, that he had that much influence over. All right,
we've got a lot of Job, partisans in the chat over here. A lot of Job partisans. I it's the oldest book in the Bible according to scholarship, anyway. And he's it's a good story. I think it is a good. I think it's a wonderful story. It's fun. Hey, Jasper. Next. Bree, you're muted.
Sorry, I was talking about. I just want to go turn the light on for the food. Our food's being delivered. Right. Who we got next is Isaiah.
He's a polemicist. He's like well, first or second Isaiah, and since we don't have a choice here,
it's probably I don't think it doesn't give any of the duplicate people with the same names, even if they're from the Old Testament, New Testament. That's why I got confused earlier about
the books
Saul.
are
remember
written. Yeah, their books are written by different people too. So, but I'm saying meh.
So yeah, he was very. God is good. God is powerful and all this crap. Let me look at some of his exploits here within the text.
Look at the resume.
Isaiah,
you check out the you got the resume going on here. It's like that's good.
Within the text of the book of Isaiah, Isaiah is referred to as a prophet, but the exact relationship between the book of Isaiah and the actual prophet Isaiah is complicated. Traditional view is that all 66 chapters of the book of Isaiah were written by one man. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't tell me anything about what he did with his life. Biography. Here we go. The first verse of Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, states that Isaiah prophesies during the reign of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, the king of Judah. So he was like a royal, yeah. I get it. I'll put him in meh. The top of meh, though. Isaiah, king of meh. Then we got Jeremiah. He was, as we've established, bullfrog, right?
Yeah.
He was a good friend, but...
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. So, he's...
What prophecies?
The problem with Isaiah, of course, is he's just basically saying, "Hey, you're not obeying the law. You're against the law. You're bad with the law. You've got to get right with the law. What the hell's wrong with you? You've got to be right with the law." So he's
the people of Judah didn't the people at Judah didn't give a fuck. He's like an ineffectual mall cop. Is how would I describe Jeremiah like? You know,
Oh,
like observe and report. I remember at the bottom of
kind of go for it. Says Stephanie and Bree ought to put Peter in a separate category. They'll be held to pay. We've all got you to thank for a whole number of things, Peter. It's like kind of go for it. One of the heroes of the YouTubes.
All right, so we got. I put Jeremiah at the bottom of meh. He's really whiny. I don't know. Jeremiah.
Yeah, he's really whiny. So movie. Yeah, bottom of meh. Bottom of meh. Yeah, I think so.
And then we got Daniel. Daniel had some superpowers too. Daniel's a prophet, right?
Yeah, but he was my.
The one thing I know about Daniel is about the lion's den, right?
Yeah. Well. And he interpreted dreams, and there was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and the book is kind of fun.
But he was like most of his books takes place in Babylon and not in Judea, though, right?
He took a lot of acid, Bree.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to take a lot of acid to stand in the lion's den like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Is he good, bad? Is he good or he can't be bad? But on the other hand, he had a lot of bad trips, which influenced even worse trips in the future. So I like bottom of meh, I think is where he is where he goes.
He can join Daniel and Jeremiah can start a band together.
Yeah. I think that's about right.
All right. I don't know who this is. Nebuchadnezzar.
Ooh, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was I think Nebuchadnezzar listened to Daniel, right? He was the king of
rock and roll.
Yeah, and he said to Daniel, "Don't try to lay no boogie woogie on the king of rock."
Oh, sorry, that was Elvis. Shit, I'm sorry, I get them mixed up. Yeah. Nebuchadnezzar, Elvis Presley, and I mixed them. Nebuchadnezzar's wasn't he the one that God cursed though?
Yeah, he did. I'm throwing him into
But he was like he was a glutton king though, wasn't he? Was like a Caligula kind of character, or
he was cursed with being thrown into the fields and eating grass for 7 years.
Yeah, he had to go live like a wild animal, right?
So that's kind of a drag.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
but what did he do to deserve it though? Because I think it was just disrespecting God, wasn't it? It's like God's like, oh yeah, you disrespect me, go live in the field like a beast. Let's see here. Is there a little biography section here? Let's see what early life, ancestry as crown prince, so he's a freaking royal. I mean, I don't blame somebody for being born into a royal family, but monarchies are gross. Ascension to the throne, early military campaigns. Oh, he's a warlord. Let's put him. You put him at the top of bad, or the bottom of meh. Everybody seems to be leaning to the bottom of meh lately, which I think is where he goes.
Bottom of meh. Bottom of meh. Might be a little. He might be ahead of Daniel.
Ahead of Daniel. Okay.
Yeah, ahead of Daniel, because well, but then again, Daniel and the tripping thing. It's just put him below Daniel. Yeah.
Well, I might get a call from Dallas, Texas.
Is it from Aetna?
Well, I wouldn't think it would be.
I don't know. It's just they happen to be my.
Man, we got the next person we have is actually it's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Abednego.
Abednego, yeah. I'm gonna answer this. I'll be right back. Entertain them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The fiery furnace. Let me see. I think I can. There is a song about Chad, Rack, Meshach, and Abednego. Let me see if I can find that one, because that's kind of fun. Again, AFU in the finding stuff. Oh my God! I Google that and I get a whole bunch of YouTubes from God channels. Christian HD movie. Oh no! There you go. Fourth man in the fire. There you go. Oh yeah, there you go. Louis Armstrong. Yeah, this is good. Let's see. It's good and bad. It is a snippet of American portrayal of African American artists in the 1930s. It's bad, but good because the music is good. And there you go. But I gotta hit that present arms. And it's grim in some respects.
There was three children from the land of Israel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Took a trip to the land of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Nebuchadnezzar was a king of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Took a lot of gold and made an idol, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And he told everybody we'd hear the music of the trumpet. And he told everybody we'd hear the music of the flute. And he told everybody we'd hear the music of the horn. They must fall down and worship the idol, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But the children of Israel would not bow down, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
So there you go. It's a hot tune, and Louis Armstrong was absolutely fantastic. I'm still listening to it, by the way, because just what a performer, what a musician, what a wonderful human being. He broke a lot of barriers, did Lewis. Broke a lot of barriers.
I'm back.
That's good. You missed Louis Armstrong performing Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Oh. Okay. That sounds fun.
I'll share it later. I hope it won't get. I'm sorry I keep doing these music clips because I know how dangerous it is. My God, how sensitive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it gets more than about 20 seconds of playing a song, it flags it. It's probably wild.
It'll flag it, but it won't strike you. It'll just say
it'll
copyright claim.
Yeah, if you're monetized, it just takes your monetization away from it. But I'm not going to monetize
Does
this
it
anyway.
really? I didn't know that.
This isn't the kind of thing I'm
shit.
monetizing
I'm sorry,
now.
Bree.
No, it's okay. I wouldn't monetize this anyway. This is me and you goofing around with the tier list about biblical figures. Go ahead and pull it back up. Let's get going. Because we got those the trio, the biblical characters thrown into the fiery furnace by Nebuchadnezzar. That's what they're famous for being roasted alive. I'm gonna call them a victim of circumstance.
They're definitely victim of circumstance. They're in the victim of circumstance category.
I'm gonna put them right here with Goliath, because much like a Goliath, you can't be a big giant like that among your people and not be willing to fight and defend them, right? They're gonna expect you to use that size and might in combat, and the same thing with these guys. They're getting victim of circumstance. I don't know what they did, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Louis Armstrong. It's whoever holds the copyright to whatever movie that was clipped from. It's the terrible thing about fair use and all of that stuff in YouTube is like a lot of people haven't heard some of this music, and if it's there, you might go listen to some more of it. You're not trying to, and the worst part is the artists themselves were treated horribly by the studios, by the record companies, by this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I got problems with copyright law. I got some problems with with Disney specifically. It's like, my God, these things, like, how long can a mouse rule the airwaves? Seriously? Anyway.
Yeah.
I think though, Bree, that the Bible is out of copyright. So as far as I know, we're good to go with the rest of our biblical characters.
Yeah. We're getting down to the last the top 20 here. So let's see. We got the next person on the list is another victim of circumstance. Is Jonah. He didn't want to go preach in some like town that was like falling apart or whatever.
He got fucked.
He didn't want to go be a street preacher. He's best like, I'm not being a street preacher. I'm out of here, and jumped on the boat to leave. And then the storm started.
Speaking of copyright, there you go. It's like the studio said, go talk to these people, and he said, yeah. I got other things to do. And then the studio said, you got to go preach to these people. And he said, no, I got other things to do. And then
I'm putting Jonah at the tippy top of meh, because I don't think he did anything exceptionally special. I think he's not enough to just be a victim of circumstances since he was a preacher. He just didn't want to preach where God told him to go preach. So, yeah. All right. And then we got Cain. And you can say what you want about Cain. Cain was a psychopath. I'm going to go with that. Probably down here. Let's see. Above Dave. Yeah, above David. Now.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Because murderous rage because God smiled upon somebody else instead of you is a little out there. And we got the Virgin Mary here. I'd actually be willing to put her above Jesus. Actually, I'm probably willing to put her up here next to Eve. What do you think? Or do you think she's
sure? I think so because I think I think that if she was real, she was
a raped child.
Yeah, and she put up with the shit, and her family. Yeah, she's in there. She's up there. She's good.
Yeah,
good old Mary.
And then we got our old man like right next to her, and I'll put him. Honestly, I'm putting him. He might be the one guy to go right up here next to Mary above Rahab because you know what? He knew what happened to Mary and raised the kid anyway. But then again, she was his child bride, so. But
yeah.
Everybody had a child bride back then.
If you go with the story that Jesus's daddy was a Roman soldier from Germany, he did the right thing by. He's good. He's cool. He took care of the kid.
But you know what I just thought about? How am I going to put Joseph and Mary above Jesus? I guess because Joseph and Mary didn't start a cult that's kind of ruining my country. Jesus did. So I don't think that was his intention. But
no, I don't think it was his intention. But you can't blame that. You can't blame his folks.
You know whose intention it was?
God.
Not this guy right here.
Oh, Paul, that fucker.
Yeah. Cult leader.
Yep.
The only reason he's not in the really bad is because he's ineffectual. At least he was like as far as the claims that Jesus was going to come back and all that. It's just, I don't know. I think Paul was saying he's going to come back in my lifetime. Then we got John the Baptist. Another person who seems like it's like maybe a good dude. I don't know. What do you think, John the Baptist? John the Baptist goes in.
John the Baptist. He ain't John the Revelator.
He's the one who baptized Jesus.
Yeah.
But why is he any less of a cult leader than Paul, though? I don't really have much of an opinion on him. I'm putting him in the top of.
Yeah, I'm putting him in the meh. I've got the huge meh thing going on with John the Baptist.
Yeah. And you got Pilate. I think we can all agree he was basically just an asshole.
A cop. He's a cop. He's a cop.
You know, going right down here with Gideon. And then we got Judas, who betrayed Christ. That's a shitty thing to do.
Jesus Christ Superstar story, or are you going to go with a whatever? Yeah, you did get his head cut off, and Salome danced around with it on a platter, which is kind of cool. Yeah. At least we get a ballet out of it.
Let's see. What are we going to do with you, Judas? I'm really thinking about just putting him at the top of bad tier. Please. Like when I think of Judas, it's like because he's Benedict Arnold, right? Where do you put these
Yeah,
characters in history?
he fucked over his pal. That's no good.
Yeah.
The
turncoat. It's like when you find out that Gambit led the Marauders down to the Morlock tunnels for the mutant massacre.
That's the thing. He was still a bad guy because he didn't stick with his friends. People that don't stick with their friends aren't cool.
Yeah. I don't know who the fuck Steven is. I have friends named
he was
Steven.
the first martyr. He was the first martyr. I don't know.
In the New Testament?
It's New Testament, yeah.
Steven was a common. Okay.
Yeah, he got stoned. But not in a good way.
Like a Christian martyr. Okay.
Yes. I think he's in the Book of Acts, but I don't remember exactly what his claim to fame was.
Biblical. I'm trying to find him. Biblical Stephen.
The name that being named Stephanie, I do know something about the name Stephen. It comes from it's derived from the Greek a crown, so he was the crown of something. I don't know what the hell that.
He was a martyr, though.
Yeah. So victim of circumstance.
Okay, Saint Stephen. All right, we'll put him at victim of circumstances.
With a rose in and out of the garden he goes.
Because he was out there trying to preach the gospel to people who didn't want to hear it, though, I'm putting him at the bottom of victim of circumstances. Because it's like the guy who went and tried to convert the Sentinelese people, right? If you preach to people who don't want to hear your bullshit, then don't get mad when they get
shut
mad
up
about your
already!
bullshit.
Shut up already! Shut up already!
Right. Like the guy on the train in Australia, see that American.
It's like the troll in chat. You get to. Have you not heard the word of God? Like, well, yeah, but it's boring.
Yeah. Who do we got next?
We don't have too many. We don't. Huh?
Timothy's next.
Timothy. No, he was Paul's A number 1 ace, right? So he's got to go in there with Paul somewhere. He was to Paul as he was Paul's campaign advisor.
All right, so we'll put him right here with Paul.
Yeah.
Then we got Silas, and I don't know what to say about Silas either. Silas was a politician.
No, another Paul acolyte, and I can't remember what his claim to fame was.
Let's see. Biblical narrative. Silas is first mentioned in Acts 15, where he and Judas Barsaba, known often as Judas, were selected by the church elders to return with Paul and Barnabas to Antioch. Antioch? How do you say that? Antioch. Antioch. Okay. Antioch. Following the Jerusalem Council. I'm really stoned. Sorry.
That's all right. Well, like Saint Stephen with a rose in and out of the garden he goes.
Let's keep all these guys together, where they can all hang out with the politicians and cops because that's what they're associated with.
Yeah,
Church
well,
elders and stuff. Yeah, our bad tier's getting big. We don't have very many spaces left, and just bad. We have Abel next. I don't think Abel ever did anything wrong, as far as I'm aware of.
no, he never did a fucking thing wrong.
I think I'm gonna put him up here with Eve and Mary. Actually, I put him above Mary because he never. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be our top guy, I think.
Sure,
No
why
one's
not?
gonna, no one's gonna trump Eve, but Abel was just like, hey, I like growing, or raising sheep and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah,
Like growing my animals up, and his brother's like, die, motherfucker, and kills him. So,
yeah.
then we got Mary Magdalene, the victim of a circumstance prostitute. So, I'm thinking this is the right tier for her, but we're at on this tier. We have Rebecca, Esther, Mordecai, Adam. Probably thinking above Adam.
But yeah, above Adam.
Okay. So now we have Peter. Got another one of Jesus' followers, one of the apostles. And yeah, one of the cult leaders.
Yeah, he's in
above.
the.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Above who?
I was we'll put him above Nehemiah, but I don't know if he should be above or below. Maybe he should be up in here in the meh. But I don't think a cult leader belongs at least in the bad tier. I don't know, but if you actually believed what he was preaching,
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, but the thing I'm concerned about is that Gonna Go For It Peter is in the stream, and he said we'd have hell to pay if we didn't do something nice for Peter.
Okay, let's put Peter in the top or in the bottom of the good tier, above Stephen. I think Peter did believe what he was preaching, so I'll put him up there. And that's also
sure.
my favor for our friend Peter out there watching, and I'm glad you're here, Peter.
And Peter just goes, still watching. It's like, okay, man.
Yeah. Glad you're here. And
yes, we do take bribes. Are you kidding?
Herod,
that's what we're here for.
I think Herod was worse than a regular politician because he was malicious. So I'm going to put him here at the top of really bad.
He was an asshole.
Then we got John. Oh, hard time putting Peter up here and not putting John up there too, just because they're kind of the same type of character. But the rest of them are down here. If I move John, if I put John up here with Peter, I'm going to have to move Timothy up there too, I think.
Yeah, we got him in the med department.
I want to put Timothy in the meh. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll put John in the meh. Let's put him at the top of, well, no, because Jonah's at the top. I'll put him right here with John the Baptist and Isaiah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Keep the Johns together. It's after all.
Yeah, okay. And then Zacharias. Is Zacharias an angel?
No, he's a prophet. I can't remember what his claim to fame is either.
Shows him talking to an angel in the thumbnail here. Let me see. Let's see. Zachariah. Hey, y'all. While we're doing this, Steph just dropped her coffee link in the side chat over here. So if you want to help a sale lady out,
fixed.
Yeah, help the sale lady out getting her car fixed. I hopefully churned her up some business today by sending a flower person over to see her.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Okay. Zechariah the Hebrew prophet, or is it Zechariah the New Testament figure? because the New Testament figures Zechariah as John the Baptist's dad, whereas I think it must be the prophet. It's gotta be the prophet. I'm going with Zechariah, the Old Testament prophet. I like the Old Testament like orders of magnitude more than I like the New Testament. So, like the Old Testament, if the Old Testament is the Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, the New Testament would be my 8th grade algebra book. That's how they stack up compared to each other. Let's see. The book of Zechariah introduces him as the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo. The book of Ezra names Zechariah as the son of Iddo, but it is likely that Berechiah and Zechariah's father and Iddo was his grandfather. His prophetical career probably began the second year of Darius the Great, king of Archim. Excuse me, my throat starts going out. Just a second, I'm gonna cough. Archimedes, the Grand Council. His greatest concern appeared to have been the building of the Second Temple. Okay, so Second Temple. He was probably not the Zechariah mentioned by Jesus in the Gospel of Luke. He's like a nobody. Why is he even here? What prophecy powers did you have?
I'm gonna say it's like he's an architect. It's like
I like my prophets to have like the ability to raise the dead or drop fireballs or summon bears. This guy, what did he do? Disappointed. I want to put you at the bottom of mad, you jerk. Now we have more in mad than we have in bad. There are 2 bald eagles on my commute home that I see every day. They are a mated pair. I've been watching them for years. Yeah, that's awesome. I love when I used to live out in the country. My our road was 10 miles of gravel, right, and we ran beside a your standard North American river system. Windy and Missouri is the land of rivers, right? Where all the rivers commune to meet the Mississippi from the Rockies on the west and from the Appalachian on the east, all converge right there at the Illinois Missouri region. And the bald eagles just love it. And this time of year, they're used to the river being frozen over. And so they're going, or they're not coming as far south as they used to, and it makes me sad because I used to watch them all the time. There'd be dozens of them along that drive. Now there's maybe a couple. Of course, I don't go down that way too much anymore. My friend recently got a female too, so maybe I'm in for a chance to get a bald eagle if they end up breeding. Fingers crossed. You're gonna get a bald eagle? Are you a falconer? Is Peter a falconer? I know there's pictures of him holding one, but I didn't know he was actually a falconer.
Yeah. He did a whole thing on that, and yeah, it's very, very cool.
I love falconry. That's amazing. Ooh, I have so many questions. Goodness gracious. We're almost done with this tier list too. Look at that. We're down to our last 8 people.
This is awesome.
All right.
God willing, we'll get through it.
Yeah. All right. So we have Elizabeth. And I don't know jack shit about Elizabeth either. We're getting this. There's some obscure people in here for me.
Elizabeth was the cousin of Mary and the mother of John the Baptist.
Okay. Maternal.
Actually, no.
Of Mary, mother of Jesus.
I think they were. John was Jesus's cousin, I think, once removed. But I
She
can't
saw
remember.
an
Second
angel,
cousin.
though, right?
She did. She was and she was another one. She the story of Elizabeth was similar to the story of Sarah.
So she was barren and then gifted with
Barren, and then she's like suddenly,
blessed with a child. She didn't do nothing wrong. I'm gonna put her right here with Mary. They're like basically in the same boat.
I know from my mom's experience, although I was born later in my mother's life, but I can imagine it's like, oh shit, really?
You know, now, I'm pretty sure that
and my sister also bore a child later in life, and she was like, really?
All right, that Antichrist.
Both women very delighted that they had the kid, but my God, it's like, what a pain.
Yeah. The Antichrist is the next person on the list, and as far as I know from Revelations, the Antichrist is going to be like a warlord. So I'm gonna put him down here with the rest of these warlords and murderers and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him mid, or now I'll put him right here with Cain. Then you get the false prophet. I don't think the false prophet's any worse or better than the real prophet, but they're a hustler. So I'm gonna put a hustler at the top of bad, right here with Nehemiah. Why can't you replace Nehemiah?
Yep.
Nehemiah's like stuck. There we go. I had to move him. All right. So they're just a bad dude. All right. Now we're getting we're at the top. This is the top 5. So the false prophet was number 5. Number 4. We got Noah. Where are we putting Noah at? Look how well balanced this is.
I got problems with Noah.
But the drunk
but
thing.
He's got his fucking neighbors coming around going, "Hey, dude, what's going on with this boat?" Never you mind. No, really. What's going on with the goddamn boat? You've got your family working on this. You're not telling anybody nothing about it. It's like you're building this thing. I'm not allowed to tell you. No, spill the beans, man. Why are you building this thing? Well, I feel like taking a little cruise to Cyprus. Yeah, okay. Can we help? No, nope, go away. And then, people start seeing all these animals walking up, and you got your lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and then you got your penguins coming along in the middle of fucking Palestine, and people are going, what the hell are those things, and what's going on here? Just never you mind, it's all good. So you got problems with Noah because he's keeping mum for the complete obliteration of the rest of the human race. It's like it's like he's terribly bad. You stick him down with God.
Well, I mean, the thing with Noah too is that after they land and everything, he gets all drunk and is like abusive towards his kids and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna put Noah maybe at the
I've given my opinion.
He was very ineffectual about saving anybody.
No, he was an accomplice in genocide. He's got to be down there.
I'm gonna put him like right down here with Antichrist. Yeah, right above Antichrist.
Yeah.
And you got Abraham, also one sick fuck. He whored out his wife as his sister. He tried to cut his kid's junk off. Or was going to stab his kid, his kid's junk off, right? Or cut his circumcision or whatever? Or was he? Did he just do it to himself? Was it?
Well, he did it to himself, and he did it to his kids. Actually, I think Ishmael also got his foreskin lopped off.
I'll put him at the top of bad. What do you think? That work for you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, and then we have Lot, who, as far as I'm aware, impregnated his 2 daughters. So,
yeah, he was drunk, but that's
yeah, he was really nice to the travelers, though, the angels. Like when everybody else was wanting to rape him, he's like, "Nah, I don't want to invade your
don't
body."
do that. Yeah, he's like bad somewhere, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put him bad here. So I don't think there's a limit. And you got Sarah.
Is he top bad?
Yeah, he's top of bad right now.
Yeah, okay.
I think mid bad would be better. Put him down here by Pharaoh.
I think mid bad. Yeah, I think mid bad.
I don't know about Pharaoh.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah's the only issue I have with Sarah is the way she treated Hagar.
Was she Abraham's wife?
Yeah.
And she's the one who circumcised Abraham.
She was trying to be nice to Abraham and got Hagar to fuck Abraham. And then she got pregnant and she kicked Hagar out of the house.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty.
That's totally shitty. I mean, it's like what do you mean? It's like what do you mean? And then God had to come and say, listen, don't worry. You keep fucking. You're gonna get a kid. And
oh my gosh! How do we? UDAF just reminded me something about Lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Raped by 2 daughters instead. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm moving him down from that. Yeah, good call. I'm gonna put him down here below Moses.
Yeah, excellent call. Excellent call there. I'd forgotten that bit.
Yeah. But about Sarah. The problem with Sarah is she's just kind of along for the ride. Is my problem with Sarah. So I have a hard time gauging any of her personality. So I was just like, oh shit, God's gonna become my husband, and cuts the tip of his dick off so that God doesn't kill him, which is pretty neat. But I don't know if she's got anything else important that she's does.
Well, it's the thing with Hagar. It's like it was like, listen, honey, I can't get a kid, so you go have a kid with my husband. And after you do, I'm going to kick you and your kid out of the place. Yeah. Now that I got a kid. She's kind of a shithead. I think she's in the bad category, but I'm not sure where.
Yeah. Let's see. Because this is mostly politically bad, is what we've had so far. Deborah was sort of just a shitty bitch, though. Let's put her here next to Deborah.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
All right. There we go. That's our tier list.
All right. That's our tier.
I'm going to save it.
Who came up with these characters? Because that was fun. That really was kind of.
You can go here. I'll show you. I made my own tier list too. Hold on. Let me. How do I get back out of here? Just a sec. Yeah, this is the biblical character ranking tier list. Somebody else did theirs like this, and look how they put Jesus, Moses, and God at the tier at the top.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I kind of think they might have a particular point of view.
Yeah, look, everybody puts God at the top and Jesus at the top.
Oh yeah, well that's
someone someone put Satan at the top.
Nice. I hope that people will look at our rankings here and see a secular humanist bent to this, not just a simple atheist bent to this. It's like, let's just evaluate, what do these people actually do? Because that's the thing. What did you do is the thing, not that.
I might do this one sometime. This is one I made.
Nice.
Carnivore. And it probably wouldn't be fun for anybody who's not like super into animals, though. But yeah, might do one of these at some point. Lots of fun stuff you can do on here. Didn't mean to do
It's
that.
pretty cool. It's like tiermaker.com or something like that.
Yep, tiermaker.com. Yep, you can tier up any kind of categories you want. All
That's
right.
awesome.
I'm gonna wrap my stream up over here. So
Well, I'm gonna do the same because it's been like almost 3 3/4 hours for me, and I want to thank Bree, but for the flowers, for the company, for the fun, and for the
I'm
love.
here for it.
I can't say enough. Good lady. Good lady.
You're one of my best friends, Steph. So I want you to make sure that you're loved. You've had a lot of people coming, picking at your
Walking around my, don't you shake my peaches if you don't.
Yeah, that's your approach.
Don't you shake, if you don't want my peaches, you better not shake my tree. It's like, it's all right. It's, I know I'm an asshole. I don't mean to hurt people. I know I have, and I hate it when I do. And I don't think that. I think it's good to reflect, I guess. But I also don't think it's. I also don't think it's. I hate to lose connection with people on the basis of a temporary, a momentary lapse of reason, shall we say.
Ooh, look at that. On my side here, Kalasia just gifted 5 memberships to
God
Rick,
bless him,
to Katina, to Ring, to Enzo, and to Jen. Thank you so much, Kalasia. And I love that I have all these new faces in the hive. Thank you and welcome aboard. We're going to continue to do stuff like this.
You know what? If some of you would tell your pals that there's content on my channel beyond me being a jerk.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Would subscribe. I don't know, but
so I'm saying we're here, we're having fun. We do silly stuff like this, me and Steph do. So if you like doing tier lists and whatnot, yeah. I don't know what we'll do next, but it's not going to be limited to Bible characters. I'll tell you that. We may do other literary characters or famous scientists. We could do animal groups, dinosaurs, things like that. Yeah. Let us know what you'd like to see us do a tier list of, and we'll bring it to you. All right. Well, to my hive, I'm going to say be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time.
And to the folks around here, I really appreciate your hanging through the entire time. And we're all gonna say goodbye. Go enjoy life. And you can do it. I kicked myself out. Thank you so much.
You got